Tonight on the Black Channel, they're not coming, they're already here. And they're here for your children. The Black Channel is live. Unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, and the everlasting superfortress of intelligent black thought. We are the Black Media, and this is the Black Channel. And I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the voice of Black America, the Black Authority, broadcasting to you live from the only historically black college and university of higher education and learning in the cosmos. You are, of course, welcome to join us. And join us you shall, because on tonight's program here, man, you know, it's one of those things where you gotta take a step back, because I don't have biological children. I know a few kids. I've got them in my family. Certain friends of mine, but I don't have biological children of my own. But man, for those of you who don't, let me tell y'all, they are targeting the children. They are targeting the children. I've taught you all now for over a decade. White supremacy believes in targeting your children. And they are targeting the kids. I'm not talking about teenagers. I mean, it's just from the moment they can talk, they are targeting them now. They are targeting them. And for those of you who have children, I feel for you all, because basically at every level now, they are trying to target your children at every level. They're doing everything they can to indoctrinate them for the purposes of ultimately grooming them, because that's what this is really about, is grooming, and starting early. By planting the suggestion in your children's heads. And that if we just keep banging this long enough, well, you know, this is an alternative. There's no such thing as an alternative lifestyle. Either it's in you or it isn't. And by telling them it's an alternative, you're conceding it's a choice. Then they'll turn around and tell you, oh, it's not a choice. Well, I saw a few things this week. And I just have to say, I'm very sympathetic to those of you who have children. It is harder than it's ever been. You send your kids to these schools and you don't have a damn clue what is happening in these places. All kinds of stuff is happening in these places. There was this one story here put out by CNN, and like I say, your news agencies, they didn't used to be, you know, these propaganda wings for this stuff. Now they are. I mean, they are just full bore. We're here to indoctrinate your kids. We're here to groom them and indoctrinate them. CNN puts up the story here about a gay Ohio substitute teacher was fired last week after handing out pride bracelets to high school students. Listen to the next sentence. The latest example of LGBTQ discussion in schools, sparking controversy. Discussion? There's no discussion to be had. You're not there to hand out gay bracelets to children. Like some sexual predator handing out ice cream cones from his ice cream truck. But let's be very, very clear. Jeffrey Epstein was one among many, and his friends were in the media and politics. Jeffrey Epstein was one among many. Harvey Weinstein was one among many. There's a reason R. Kelly was able to run as long as he did. One among many. Targeting your children is a way of life for them, and is ultimately what they want to see everything go to. Now, the actual article on CNN, gay substitute teacher says he was fired for handing out pride bracelets to students. A gay Ohio substitute teacher was fired last week after handing out pride bracelets to high school students. The latest example of LGBTQ discussion, sickening. Jay Bowman said in a Facebook post he was fired for handing out First Capital Pride bracelets to his students at Huntington High School in Chillicothe, Ohio. Hopefully I didn't butcher that. Bowman said he also answered questions from students about the LGBTQ advocacy group. Well, he was there to recruit. Nobody asked you for this. Nobody solicited this. He went there for the purposes of recruiting, and this is just the one they caught. How many others are doing stuff like this or worse, and they didn't catch him? How many others? How many others like this that they caught, that have come into the place and they didn't catch them? How many others? How many? Think about that for a few moments. It's not a game. Now, it goes on to say here, quote, he said, quote, "If a kid has questions, if a kid wants honesty, I don't think I should be forbidden from providing that," Bowman told CNN affiliate WSYX. SYX. Wow, doesn't that just sound like an alternative way of saying sex? Doesn't that just sound like an alternative way of saying that? Doesn't it? Doesn't it? Folks, who in the world are hiring these people? What in the world is going on here? This guy's sitting up here I don't think there should be a problem with me proselytizing to your children. I just answered a few questions here. That's all. I just answered a few questions. Why in the world were you soliciting yourself to ask that? Nobody asked you for that. But just understand, they're willing to do that because this is just the one who got caught. This is just the one who got caught. Now, the article goes on to say, the First Capital Pride Coalition, based out of Chillicothe, Ohio, supports the LGBT community by offering community events, advocacy efforts focusing on inclusion, and health equity education. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell does that mean? You see, when you first read the thing, you might have thought he was talking about a damn, a bank. First Capital Pride. That sounds like a bank. That sounds like, a gay bank, doesn't it? First Capital Pride. Sounds like it should be a bank. They banging on something, all right. What is that? Community events? What kind of community events? Advocacy efforts focusing on inclusion. Huh? Including whom? And health equity education. Health equity? All right. Quote, I don't try to recruit anyone. The parents are responsible for the kids. The parents are the ones that need to teach their kids right and wrong. Yeah, that's why you're not supposed to be handing out no damn bracelets, you pervert. He's in the classroom handing out bracelets talking about, oh, I don't try to recruit anyone. This is the very definition of recruiting. No, I'm not. I'm just handing out bracelets and letting them know about our organization and they can go ahead and contact us and come by and come call us and anything else we're going to do here. But that's not recruiting. No, that's not recruiting. Not at all. Huntington Local School District Superintendent Peter Ruby released a statement on Sunday saying Bowman violated board policies by speaking about personal beliefs, political and religious topics, as well as distributing bracelets. Quote, while we recognize there are diverse points of view on this matter, the policy exists for the purpose of ensuring all students feel comfortable in the classroom. Because let me tell you, if you the kids who are not gay, they're very uncomfortable with somebody sitting up here handing out gay bracelets. They're very uncomfortable about that. Now, they'll tell you that the gay kids, everything we talk about in class there, we don't get to talk about being gay. Well, we shouldn't talk about being gay. No, you shouldn't actually, no. Well, why not? We can't get the kids to consider being gay if we don't talk about it. Okay. Why don't you wait to see if any of them come to you? Oh, no. That's too damn long. No. Let's go ahead and see if we can get them on board now. Too long. Well, in the chat room, you said, oh, Will Smith should have showed up to slap the hell out of somebody behind this. I agree. Will could have got an applause for that. Now, the article goes on to say, asked if the district considers LGBTQ topics to be religious or political, Ruby told CNN there were a number of topics he spoke to students about, religious and political, more than just LGBTQ issues. When addressing Bowman's firing, the superintendent said the district does not discipline substitutes because they are contracted through another entity. Quote, we simply chose to not use those who violate board policies. In a Facebook post from March 24th, Bowman said the complaint originated from a school board member and that he is, quote, heartbroken the district chose to dismiss him. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. When we're trying to indoctrinate people, of course. Of course. And by the way, if you go to his Facebook page, I'm not even going to put up a link for it, but if you go to his Facebook page, for anyone, black, white, brown, friend, enemy, gay, straight, liberal, conservative, Christian, atheist, Jew, Gentile, tall, short, drunkard, addict, healer, pastor, etc., 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 let love for all be your force for good. Yeah. Yeah. Now, one more thing. He has a Facebook post. You know what? Yeah. Why don't I go ahead and just go there? I wasn't going to say anything. I wasn't going to do anything here, but why don't I just go ahead and go there? Let me go ahead and just drop this on you here. I don't want a situation where the streaming program screws up in the event that it screws up or something here. So I don't want my streaming program to screw up and make a problem here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you a screen capture from his Facebook page. So I know it'll take me a minute to get it up here for you, but I'm going to show you a screen capture from his Facebook page, and you all tell me if this is recruiting or not. You all tell me. You tell me if this is recruitment or not. Note to minors I just accepted friend requests from. Please inform your parents/guardians I have accepted your friend requests. I am an open book but can be a tiny bit opinionated. Stop laughing. And my page is often PG-13. There may be some posts I block you from seeing. I love and appreciate you no matter what your viewpoint. I love and appreciate you no matter what your viewpoint. I love and appreciate you no matter what your viewpoint. You are awesome, intelligent human beings. Don't ever let anyone tell you different. I am sorry for any discomfort I've caused you. Discomfort? We adults don't always handle things correctly. Please, anything done. He's talking like he's talking to 4-year-olds. Please, anything done or said on my behalf today should be 1000% peaceful, not disruptive to education, and with tolerance for all viewpoints. No hate, just love. There's room at the table for everyone. All right, line your kids on up. He's ready to talk to the minors. Line your cheering on up. He's ready to talk to your minors. Come on down. He's ready to talk to your minors. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. No, nothing recruiting about that. No recruitment there. No recruitment there at all. No, perfectly normal when you think about it, right? Perfectly normal when you think about it. Makes perfect sense to me, doesn't it? No, go ahead and send your kids on over there. I'm sure all this will work out just fine. I'm sure this will work out just great. What could possibly go wrong here? What could possibly go wrong? There's a lot that could possibly go wrong here, but some folks can't be bothered, I guess. I guess some folks couldn't be bothered, I suppose. What I want to do here is I want to show you from this guy's Facebook page here. I'm going to go ahead and show that to you so you can see it for yourselves here. This is from his Facebook page. This is from the actual Facebook page itself here. And some of you, if you got kids and your kids are sitting up here coming home and talking all defensive of this stuff, you are failing as a parent because you're not debriefing them. Now, this is him addressing Huntington. Dear Huntington local school parents, I'm not quite sure where to begin with this post. I am so heartbroken, my soul is crushed. Best way to do this is just rip off the Band-Aid. I was dismissed from future subbing opportunities, including a full week that was already booked at my beloved Huntington local schools. And before anyone asks, yes, it appears to be tied to my being gay. First paragraph. No, nothing crazy going on here. My first clue was when they canceled me for my assignment next week, and when I asked why, I received an evasive answer about them not needing my subs. about them not needing subs. This, of course, is horse manure, and I have previously handled multiple classes at once due to the lack of subs. When I inquired further, I was advised to speak to the superintendent. I did so. The reason I was given for my dismissal was community complaints about private conversations I had with students who commented on a rubber wristband I wear. The band is rainbow colored and has First Capital Pride embossed on it. When approached by students who expressed a certain point of view, I happily slid the band off my arm, offered it to the student, slipped it off my arm and offered it to the student, and explained the First Capital Pride offered support groups for teens who may be struggling, are suicidal, are ostracized, and need support. Brothers and sisters, that is the definition of recruiting. That is the definition of recruiting. Just in case anybody's real slow and doesn't understand, that is recruiting. So now we know remember those earlier referred to things CNN was talking about earlier about their community services. Remember that? Remember they were saying that before? Offering community events, advocacy efforts, health, equity, education. Yeah. When you ask him what they do, now that's the lie that CNN told. When you ask him what their little mutual admiration society does, it's something different. Well, maybe some of you here are gay and you're ostracized and need support from an older male. Maybe some of you teenagers need some support from, you're ostracized, you might be gay and you need some support from an older male. You know, you shouldn't be talking to your parents about it. You need to come and talk to Mr. Bowman. He goes on to say, I did not specify it was LGBTQIA plus folks. We offer support too, but it was rainbow and pretty much everyone knows I'm gay, which is also something I never brought up to any student unless they asked directly and respectfully. So in other words, folks, come on now. At this point right here, this is insulting to the intelligence. It's insulting to the intelligence. According to the superintendent, this was a violation of school policy and that the complaint originated from a school board member. When I asked what the difference was between the blatantly religious signage posted around the school, the response was completely evasive. While the superintendent said it was not personal, we've been colleagues for decades. Colleagues, you're a substitute teacher, but all right. I just didn't see how I could take it any other way. I thank the superintendent for listening to me, for the subbing opportunities I've had over the last year, and that they should find someone to cover the rest of my classes today as I was leaving the building. I also stated this was signaling to the many LGBTQIA plus students in the district that they are not truly welcome at the school. I also mentioned that the district had previously hired me for a contract position knowing full well I was out. Then I left. Now listen to this next part. The darkness overwhelmed my brain, so I drove straight to my therapist's office for a calming chat. The darkness overwhelmed my brain, so I drove straight to my therapist's office for a calming chat. Thank God she was free. After meeting with her and getting a job offer, I went to what I refer to as my church, even though I don't actually attend there, to speak with my prayer sister. She and another dear sister offered to pray over me, which I gratefully accepted with one requirement: no prayers against anyone or anything, only prayers of peace, love, and a godly attitude for my heart. These two women of God prayed like nothing I've ever heard before. They prayed for my hurt and that all negativity would be bound by God. I left feeling covered by grace and calm to my very core. I am at peace, but I will not be quiet. So we went from the school to the church. There go your institutions. Your schools, your churches, infiltrated and overrun. I am a good student first teacher. Whoa. I'm a good student first teacher. I love all God's children, and the kids at Huntington will always hold a place in my heart. Dude, back off. Bruh, back the hell up. The creepy vibes are shaking the room right now. Back the hell up, man. What the hell? He keeps circling back to that. I lived there for more years than Huntington Schools is home to me. I lived there for more years than anywhere else. I do not ever put students at risk. I work hard at reaching out to every single student I meet. For what? You're a substitute teacher, damn it! This is a substitute, people. This isn't like a regular employee. It's a damn folks. All right. Some of y'all are still going to be sitting there with, I don't know. I mean, it might be okay right there, Jaden. You might be jumping to conclusion. Folks, this is what CNN was defending. I am a good student first teacher. I do not ever put students at risk. I work hard at reaching out to every single student I meet. These great kids respond well to me. And we have a genuine teacher-student affection for one another. Folks! Hello? Is there anybody else reading this beside me? I'm not even a parent. I don't really give a damn what sexual orientation the teacher is. If you're, let me just try this a different way. Let's just say this was a heterosexual gym teacher, and he was talking like this. He was teaching your daughter. Hello, this is Coach Kelly, Coach R. Kelly. I'm a good student first teacher. I love all God's children, and the kids at Huntington will always hold a place in my heart. Huntington Schools is home to me. And public announcement, I lived there for more years than anywhere else. I do not ever put students at risk. I work hard at reaching out to every single student I meet, starting with Aaliyah. These great kids respond well to me and my music, and we have a genuine teacher-student affection for one another. I believe I can fly. You tell me, does that make you feel any better? I'm putting these words in the mouth of somebody who ain't gay. By the way, does that make you feel better? Now that I did that, feel a little bit easier about it now? Yeah, anybody who's on the fence about it's like, oh, hell, this just went from bad to worse. Yeah, there is no good way to do this. Hell no. It's no good damn way to do this. Now listen to this. These great kids respond well to me, and we have a genuine teacher-student affection for each other. And now I am cut off from them. You damn right you should be. Folks, what the hell? Really? Okay, so we supposed to just sit up here and let this keep going here? Are you serious? Okay, let me help you all out a little bit here. I am a good student first teacher. I love all God's children, and the kids at Huntington will always hold a place in my heart. Huntington Schools is home to me. I've lived there for more years than anywhere else. I do not ever put students at risk. I work hard at reaching out to every single student I meet. These great kids respond well to me, and we have a genuine teacher-student affection for one another. And now, I'm cut off from them. Not to mention from my livelihood as well. I am hurt more deeply than I think I've ever been. I'm not angry. I hold no malice towards anyone. The main reasons I'm sharing this information is so that Huntington parents on my Facebook friends list will have a full picture, because your kids are likely to have questions. One final thing I asked the superintendent was, since you're saying community complaints is the reason for my dismissal, what if a larger portion of the community disagrees? He said he'd be open to feedback from the Huntington community. By the way, Ohio state law still permits firing anyone just for being LGBTQIA+. Some don't realize this fact. Man, if you don't get the hell up out of here with this nonsense, what in the hell? Please. This is in your schools, people. This is in your schools. This is what CNN is defending. This is what they are defending. There's a whole bunch of folk who want to have open access to your children. And I'm just bringing you one example. Just one example. By the way, the superintendent said a demonstration is planned at the school Monday, April 4th to support Bowman. Ruby said student-led expression is permitted as long as there is no disruption to the education of students. The next school board meeting will be April 11th, according to the Huntington's local school district website. WSYX is reporting students and parents plan to attend the meeting to ask the school board to reconsider its policies. Wonder how many of those people actually even live there. Wonder how many actually even live there. All right. Okay. I just want you to understand, they ain't playing out here, man. You go to his damn Facebook page. And you'll see some of the usual foolery. You'll see some of that. If you go to his Facebook page, you'll see some of the usual foolery. Yeah, you'll see some of the usual foolery, and you tell me whether or not we're dealing with a real teacher, even a substitute teacher, somebody who's just interested in that, or if we're dealing with somebody who sees themselves as an activist who is using certain strategies. If you want to know why the hell it is so important to push back against these things, especially as black people, it is critical and crucial that we push back against these things. Because when you allow other people to hitch their wagons to you and say that what they going through is the same as you, no, it isn't. What you going through is over there. It is in no way comparable to us. We ain't the civil rights generation. Nah, back the hell up off of us. What black people have been going through and what we dealing with ain't got a damn thing to do with you. You own something else. Don't hide behind us. Don't hide behind us and a real genuine grievance. Don't even try that one. Don't even try it. That's what CNN is about. That's what they're on. And just in case you thought they were by themselves, no, they're not. No, they're not. You thought the schools were bad. Oh, boy. Here comes Disney. Shout out to all the Marvel Cinematic Universe fans out there. Boy, they taking that money and putting it to work, aren't they? Who needs to worry about making content that people want to watch and movies that people want to see? Don't worry about that right there. We're going to squander the shareholders' money on indoctrination right here. They don't give a damn about running a company anymore. Just, oh, man, look here. We're doing everything now. We're doing everything. Now, there's a reason why I wanted you to see this right here. There was a video that was leaked by a, I guess, online journalist or whatever. Video that was leaked by this guy, and I want to just bring you up to date on this right here now. You can see the headline of the article. I'm quitting Disney after seeing it boast about pushing gender theory. The Walt Disney Company just refuses to let it go. On Tuesday, Christopher Rufo, known for his exposés on schools and corporations under the spell of critical race theory, didn't take very long for that to show up, now did it? Released internal Disney videos in which those in charge discuss how they insert the, quote, not at all secret gay agenda into children's programming. Keep that phrase in mind, because they really seized on that one in particular. Not at all secret gay agenda into children's programming. Those were the words used by Disney television animation executive producer LaToya Raveneau. Let me say that again. Those were the words used by Disney television animation executive producer LaToya Raveneau. This is LaToya Raveneau. In case you were wondering, that's LaToya Raveneau. Did she have something to say about this? Oh, she sure did. These were her words.
It's like, I love Disney's content. I grew up watching, all of the classics. They have been a huge, informative part of my life. But at the same time, I worked at small studios most of my career, and I'd heard, you hear whispers. I'd heard things like, oh, they won't let you show this at a Disney show. And I'm like, okay. So I was a little sus when I started. But then my experience was bafflingly the opposite of what I had heard. On my little pocket of Proud Family Disney TVA, the showrunners were super welcoming. Meredith Roberts and our leadership over there has been so welcoming to my not at all secret gay agenda. And so I feel like I felt.
You heard her run over those words, to my not at all secret gay agenda. You heard that?
Welcoming to my not at all secret gay agenda. And so I feel like.
So so yeah, she's a real mature individual that they hired, huh? one of the biggest corporations on earth. She's a real mature individual, isn't she?
The showrunners were super welcoming. Meredith Roberts and like our leadership over there has been so welcoming to like my like not at all secret gay agenda. And so like I feel like I felt like it was, I mean, like maybe it was that way in the past, but I guess like something must have happened in the last, like they're turning it around, they're going hard. And then all that like momentum that I felt, like that sense of, I don't have to be afraid to like, let's have these two characters kiss. Let's in the background, like I was just wherever I could, just basically adding queerness to like if you see anything queer in the show, I'm proud family. But like, I just was like, no one would stop me.
Now that last part, I want you to listen to very carefully. Listen to this last part very carefully.
Like I was just wherever I could, just basically adding queerness to characters kiss. Let's in the background, like I was just wherever I could, just basically adding queerness background. Like I was just wherever I could, just basically adding queerness to like if you see anything queer in the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me say one more time what this perverted little creature's job title is. She is she's Disney television animation. She's a Disney television animation executive producer. Disney television animation. In other words, children's programming. And you heard her, just wherever I could, just anywhere I could. They're not in the business of making money anymore. They're in the business of indoctrinating your children. Yeah, go line up and go watch Black Panther, by the way, now. Go ahead. Now, she's not forwarding a black agenda. Yeah, they hired the right one, didn't they? She's not promoting a black agenda. So they have a black female, but they didn't get her for a black agenda. They got a black female to promote the gay. Okay. Fine. Let's go down to the next paragraph, though. By the way, let's go down to the next paragraph. The shocking footage also featured Disney Parks diversity and inclusion manager Vivian Ware. Okay. So this is the Disney, a Disney animation executive producer. Probably doesn't know the first damn thing about animation, period. But she's the executive producer of television animation programming. And this is the diversity and inclusion manager. Oh, here is Vivian Ware. Very reminiscent of Joe Biden's cabinet, by the way. The diversity and inclusion people for Joe Biden. Yeah, there's a bunch of, and them in the Volkswagen group. Whenever it's diversity and inclusion, they're talking about diversity and inclusion, and it's no black people. They tell you it's for black folks' benefit, but it's not black people in charge of deciding what is diverse enough or inclusive enough. They put white people in charge. So let me get this straight. They put a black woman in charge of promoting the gay agenda, even though she's black. And they put a white woman in charge of promoting the black diversity agenda, even though she's white. People, white supremacy believes in targeting your children, but even more so, they believe in sick jokes. They believe in promoting a sick joke. This is a sick joke. This is the kind of thing they sit back and have belly laughs over. Hey, watch this right here. The inclusion and diversity, man. It's going to be a white female. Yeah. There's your inclusion and diversity manager for the parks. If anybody asks why it is that we need reparations and Disney needs to be first in line to pay that, yeah, if you want to know why it is, it's because of little slick garbage like this. It's because of little slick garbage like this. You are up against a multi-billion-dollar international juggernaut. And they're targeting you and the children. They're targeting you, but more importantly, they're targeting your children with billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. They've got billions at their disposal to target your children with. Day in and day out, reworking and fixing everything they can to engineer it to target you and your kids. Now I'm asking you, you tell me, is there an agenda? Are they targeting your kids? Are they truly targeting them? Maybe Jason's just wrong. Maybe Jason sees this wrong. Maybe Jason's got the wrong idea and somebody else knows what's actually going on or has the right idea. I don't know. Maybe they do. But I want you to take a moment here to think this over for those of you who have children and even those of you who don't. Even those of you who don't. Recognize this for what it is. Recognize this for what it is, because right now you have a situation where it is all hands on deck and they are targeting you in every way, philosophically, intellectually, emotionally, historically, attempting to steal our icons and put them into service for every damn body else. Think about that for just a few moments here. Think about that for just a few moments for those of you who don't have children. Because if they can stall you long enough, if they can hold you up and stall you long enough, if they can do that, the next thing you know, you look up and you don't have as many of you talking about reparations anymore. You don't have as many of you talking about white supremacy. Next thing you know, you look up and everybody, including the black folk, are sitting up talking about, well, what's really important though is, yeah, black folks got issues, but, really it's about LGBT. And it will be black faces that they send out to do that. It will be black faces that they send out to tell you that black folk ain't got no issues. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It'll be black faces that they send out to tell you that black folk are not the issue anymore. It'll be young black people telling you that it's not the issue. If you all want to know why it is that we stay as vigilant as we do and we beat them like a drum when we talk about what black folk need, when we talk about the old black media, if you want to know why it is that we do that, this is the reason that we do that. We do that because people need to understand, if we allow you to forget the next generation, the young folk will sit up here jumping up, they'll sit up here jumping up talking crazy as hell, and you won't be able to figure out why the hell they're talking like that. And meanwhile, this has been what's been playing in the background in their heads. This is what's sitting at the schools. This is what's sitting on television. And then your black agenda is just gone. There's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. And I submit to you all that, as with all things, all roads lead back to undermining black people. All roads lead back to that, is what I'm suggesting to you. But just understand, they're devious, and it's got to undermine you without looking like it's undermining you. That's what it has to do. Then again, there may be people who feel differently or disagree with that, which is perfectly fine, by the way. So what I'm going to do in a few moments is I'm going to go ahead and open up the telephone lines and give you a chance to call in about it, and you'll be allowed to do that. So that's certainly going to be available for you here. Before that, we are going to take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. Before we do, I want to thank everyone and everybody who has supported tonight's program, and I want to thank you all for doing it. Like I say, you're some of the unsung heroes in regard to this. It's good to know you have the support of the public. So my man, Mark B., Andrew L., Brenda Starr, as always, thank you there, sister. Richard Lavelle and Stay Positive, thank you very much for your support, and everybody here, because you got multi-billion-dollar corporations out here, whole school governments and whatnot, and one microphone. Don't look for Bowling Ball Martin or any of the dead black media to say anything. Hell, they're going to be the ones helping these folk. He'll be over there helping them. We're going to take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. This is The Black Channel.
I am black first. I am empowered. I am on code. I am motivated. I am a proud foundational. My name is Naria Sellers, and nothing will come between us. Buy the sci-fi novel, Nothing Will Come Between Us. Order today at Amazon and Google Play. Visit spiritofo1811publishing.com. Our story, our family.
Join 60s.net, a forum built to discuss all things relevant to black people. On our forum, a check doesn't mean you're famous. It means your blackness has been verified by our staff.
Sorry, Chad.
We also have premium merchandise with same-day shipping on most orders. And when you're ready for some dope content, check out the 0 Hour blog.
Don't just sign up, post.
I'm having a really good time with you tonight.
I'm having a good time with you too.
Want to go somewhere private? Just for us?
I like that.
Great. Meet me at 60s.net. Black owned, black operated.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slavery and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
The future of legal betting is finally here. Place a bet using CashApp with Bitcoin right over the phone. Unlike with traditional gambling sites, every bet you place with us, you're guaranteed a 50% probability of winning. All of our bets are one-on-one against a real person and never the house. We offer some of the most unique bets in the industry. Bets like, will LeBron James win his 5th NBA title? Will Joe Biden be elected for a second term? Will Tesla be worth $1 trillion by the end of 2022? You can even bet on if it will rain tomorrow. You can literally bet on any future event. Text the phrase I bet to the number on the screen, and I'll reply with a list of all our available bets.
Are you tired of being overcharged and forced into paying a monthly subscription for your Mac and Windows software? Well, if you are, currently we're having a 50% off discount on all the latest Mac and Windows software, such as AutoCAD, SolidWorks, Photoshop, Microsoft Office, and much more. Our 50% off discount will be ending soon, so be sure to text us "Need Software" to 323-407-8214. That's 323-407-8214. We aim to please, so expect 24/7 technical support, the latest premium software, instant software links delivered to your email, and PayPal's buyer's protection guarantee.
When you need a reliable influx of capital to grow your business, Spectre Capital Finance provides fast, individualized working capital loans with lines of credit to take your business to the next level. SpectreCapitalFinance.com.
This is the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Very glad to be with you all here this evening. And the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the blackest radio program in existence, the only one of its kind on planet Earth today. And as always, you are welcome to join us on tonight's program here, folks. Like I say, with everything else that's going on, these other folks out here are foot to the floor. And I'm asking the question, are they targeting your children? I'm asking the question. You can go ahead and give us a telephone call, 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Let's go ahead and take a few phone calls here. Let me get caller from area code 267. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, this is Tammy. I'm calling from Williamsport, PA. Good afternoon. Yes, I'm glad you brought this subject up. Not only are they targeting children, but they're also targeting adults and, unfortunately, older people from the civil rights generation. Why I say this is because I remember I had an argument with my mom regarding Biden trying to put a sanction on Nigeria because they don't agree with their perspective of the LGBTQ law. And with me saying that, she actually agreed to Biden. And just so you can understand, she's a so-called proclaimed Christian. And this has gone way too far. And it's crazy because, I seen this coming a long time ago. Yes, they are targeting children because they have a secret agenda to actually bring about pedophilia. And I have watched a few other
Well, this is not a secret agenda. That's not a secret agenda. That was always the game plan. That was always the end goal. To soften you up, death by 1,000 cuts. They've been working on, they don't have a 100-year plan for their economy, but they have the LGBT folks have a 100-year plan to get to what you're talking about. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 929. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good evening, Jason. This is Daryl speaking from Chicago.
Daryl from Chicago, what's on your mind?
Jason, again, another excellent broadcast tonight, and you hit the nail right on the head. And the answer to your question is yes, they're targeting our kids, and yes, they're targeting a lot more. And that's, you just said it, a 100-year situation where they're coming at us with that. And I remember when my daughter was 12. She's 26 now, 28 years old now. And there was a show on TV called Queer as a Fork. I didn't understand it was on cable network. And she said, Daddy, what's that? It was two men kissing. And I told her, and I turned it off immediately, turned it to another channel. It was on cable network. They've been pushing this thing, the agenda, for the longest period of time. And even with Mr. Eisner, when he was there at Disney, he was doing it too. As a matter of fact, Mr. Eisner, from what I understand, probably was gay. But at the same time, yes, they're pushing that agenda on our kids. They're pushing it hard at us and pushing it hard at the kids. They don't even talk about black men. They try to keep that out their mouths. Anything black, they try to keep out their mouths. But we're going to stay on code. We're going to stick with what we're supposed to be doing. God bless you for doing what you're doing with the black media, and taking it to a whole new level and making awareness to all people. The B1s out here, the grassroots, the people that are pushing real hard, doing the right thing as dads, everybody. God bless you for that, Jason. We appreciate that.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight here. I want you all to understand something here. What corporations do is more influential than what governments do. I say to you again, what corporations do is more influential than what governments do. Do you understand that? The corporations set the trend. Understand something. I've explained to you all before, whether it's Dave Chappelle or Tucker Carlson, if the corporation stands behind you, if the corporation is willing to hold its resources behind you, then it's impossible to punish you because the company is standing behind you. And inversely, if you don't have the backing of the corporation, the next thing you know, that falls, and then there goes your school district. Understand something. The money is what pushes the events. It isn't the government that pushes these events. It's these private industries and private individuals and private corporations. They push those events. They have a reason for doing that, and they're the ones who co-opt government and then get it to do what they want it to do. So if you want to know why it is that they're so concerned about being so vocal on Twitter, that gives them an excuse to sound like they're much more influential than they really are. But remember, they tell the same damn lie. They talked about how folks just love LGBT. Oh, everybody's on board with that. And then Proposition 8 in California, they had to eat their words and just admit. Understand, these people have Proposition 8 in California, of all places, proved that the LGBT agenda is a lie, and people are not on board with pushing a radical agenda like that. But they have no problem, whether it's Rachel Maddow, Don Lemon, or any of the others. They get in front of the microphone, look square into the camera, and lie. Oh, everybody loves us. Everybody's great. Proposition 8 whooped their butts. Everybody still loves us. Everything's great. That's the definition of an agenda. Caller from area code 504. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Mr. Black. Charles Gibson from New Orleans.
All right, Charles, New Orleans, what's on your mind?
Hey, I was just want to say that I'm glad that you touched on this topic because I seen the topic about LaToya and her not so secret agenda, and it goes to what the her little flagship show, the Proud Family, Loud and Proud, their new season, and I'm seeing a lot of LGBT agenda on there. But another thing that's insidious that they do is that they try to make it seem like it's the straight black male is like the main antagonist for that by making the father the main villain of the story. Because you just see that. So I'm thinking that's what they're going to try to do now, is going to change our children to the LGBT agenda, and also making sure that straight black men are the main enemies of that agenda.
Yeah, certainly that's exactly what you have going on there. That's exactly what you have going on. When you go to IMDb, she's credited as executive producer on Rise Up and Sing Out, on the episodes
Right.
Create Your World, Marvelous Me, Let Me Overrule, Name Tag, Speak Up, Super Bonnet, Gather Round. So she's credited as an executive producer on Rise Up, Sing Out, which I'm not really sure what that is. On The Proud Family, she was the director of a few episodes on The Proud Family. The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. She was director of When You Wish Upon a Roker, Father Figures, and It All Started with an Orange Basketball.
Right. Father Figures is the like main episode that you see like two gay characters kissing, and how Oscar Proud is like not cool with it. So that's gonna be the main episode. Like that's the one that our kids gonna look at and be like, oh, I can see that straight black men are the enemy of gay people, the LGBT agenda.
So we don't have a show that is teaching the greatness of black people. We don't have a show that's canonizing the greatness of black people in black history, but there's no shortage of desperate, bedwench-minded individuals who this is what they're worried about. White supremacy doesn't exist in their world. Roland Martin. White supremacy doesn't exist to them. They got a whole different agenda. And this is what their agenda is. So if you want to know what it takes to get a job at Disney, if you want to know what it requires, now you know what it requires. Black folk need to be about building our own. Recognize what these other folk are doing, but this is what they're on. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Yeah, folks, for a lot of you who've been complaining about this stuff, just understand Jeffrey Epstein wasn't the only one who had a Ghislaine Maxwell. He wasn't the only one who had a female henchwoman. He wasn't the only one. Caller from area code 845. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Jason. This is Sheba Kita from Newburgh, New York.
All right, Sheba Kita from Newburgh, New York. What's on your mind?
Yes, I'm so glad that you're having this broadcast tonight. Brilliant. The question I have is because, so I've been noticing for the past 4 years at least that they've been pushing more and more gay agenda. All the cartoons, like almost all of the cartoons have like a gay agenda, and they're cursing in the cartoons. And every time my kids come home, they're 4 and about to be 7. I mean, yeah. So I'm wondering, should we, like every time they come home, they're like drawing rainbows. They're so like caught up into the rainbows big time. So it's like, you know, when I'm not happy to see all these rainbows, and they don't understand why I have an issue with the rainbows. So I'm telling them, you know, when you get a certain age, I'm explaining to you, when is the best time we should start telling our children about this? Because my children are going to parties, like I'm taking them to kids' parties, and they're saying, oh, yeah, Mommy, my friend has 2 mommies. You know, they have, there's a lot of kids that has, you know, the 2 mommy parenting crap going on.
Okay.
So I'm
let me ask you then, what does your husband have to say?
So I don't have a husband.
Okay.
Me and their father are co-parenting.
All right. Co-parenting my ass.
Yeah.
This is the result of, quote, co-parenting. It's very easy to divide a home that's already broken. Of your children, what are they sons? How many are sons or daughters?
They're both girls.
Okay. What I'm going to do here is, the first thing you need to understand is that a young girl, especially, the reason why you need a father in the home, listen to me, Sherry Curie, in the home, is so that they can see what a masculine male presence does on a daily basis. If the only male leadership they have is on a damn cartoon show, then you are the one who's fed the children to the wolves. Because you cannot replace, there is no substitute, there is no co-parenting. Get the hell out of here. There is no co-parenting substitute for a man in the home showing through his daily example. So the children see Disney more than they see their father. And seeing him is not enough. They need to see him, what he does on a daily damn basis, and how a man interacts with a woman. Instead, they got you sitting up here looking all crazy, trying to tell them, well, just understand, I'm going to touch it down and talk about it. All you become is another teacher. and you're on par with all the other influences. They do not see you interacting. They don't see him doing it. The only place they see a male interacting with somebody else are these cartoon caricatures on their TVs, and that's it, or whatever the hell they're showing them at school. If you want to know why that is devastating, if you want to know why single motherhood is devastating, here, Exhibit A. You can't outweigh that. All you are is just another teacher. They see you, they hear you, but they don't understand how this works. Now, if there's a father in the home, they can understand how it works. So, if I'm going to be brutally honest, you're part of the problem. Because there's no example for them to look at. They got you you understand this because of your age, but you're talking crazy. They don't understand any of this. They don't understand what it means. They don't get any of it. Now, if he were there, they can see it and he can explain to them. Because the most influential person in a young girl's life is actually the father. Because that's going to be the prototype that she judges all of her male examples in the future against. And if she spent more time with the louder and prouders, and I'm not even going, at this point right now, I don't even know what the character of this man is. I don't even know what it is, but what I will say is nothing replaces a masculine male example in the home, period, point blank, put down the crack pipe. That's delusional. You can't substitute that. As a matter of fact, in many ways, it would be better for them to be with their father so that they can understand how a man operates and what a man thinks, and they can see that on a daily basis. However, in the situation as it is here, number one, get them the hell away from all that stuff. Turn off the damn TV and everything. How soon do you talk to them about it? As soon as you can speak to them about it. Because these other folks are trying to get to them before you. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get to your children before they begin any interest in sexuality whatsoever. They're trying to talk to them before you do that whatsoever. So your job as a mother is to be the first teacher and warn them. Your job is to warn them. Now, there are going to be people who are going to try to influence you about things that you're not even interested in or talking about. Just understand those are bad people. Ooh, it's all over school. Just because something is widespread doesn't make it right. Slavery was widespread. Does that make, would you like me to put a shackle around your neck? Oh, no. Okay. So just because something is widespread in schools or government, that doesn't make it right.
Understood.
How old are your children?
5 and 7.
Okay, well, when do you start talking to them? Now. And by the way, their father, have you discussed this with him?
I have.
And what did he say?
Well, he wants to wait. He figures we should wait. And I want to tell him now, but...
Wait until when?
He figures we should wait. I guess wait until they're older to understand.
I don't know what older is. Older's not an age.
Yeah, he didn't give an age.
Okay, like, then this is what I mean. You're kind of being milquetoast about it. Here's the real problem. Like I said, I don't know about the character of him. And like I say, there's a bunch of fellas out here today who they were raised in single mother homes. So I'm just going to be totally honest with you. A lot of these fellas from single mother homes, they got half a sissy in them now. So it's kind of hard to deal with them. They're trying to check out of being a man. Folks, you don't sit up here and wait till your children are enter puberty to have these discussions. I don't even have kids, and I know you don't wait until then. You don't wait until your kids are old enough to get a drink to talk to them about drinking.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of insanity is this? You don't wait until your kids get to puberty to start talking about that. You got damn me LGBT teachers sitting up here going in on your 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds. Get the hell out of here. You don't wait until then. You got them going in on your high schoolers. You don't wait until then. You don't wait. So no, what you need to do is have a discussion with him and say, yeah, they're already asking these questions now.
Right.
Without me knowing, like I say, I'm not sure what quality of male you chose to procreate with. I am not sure what quality you chose. I'm not sure if there was a quality judgment. What I am going to, and the reason why I'm saying that is important is because I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't think that I should have more influence in your home than your man does. Problem, he's not your man. We're dealing with a baby daddy situation. So ladies, if you want to know why irresponsible sexing is a dangerous thing, it's because when you need a man to be that strong principled person, dude is just like, oh, really? That's going on? Well, can't we deal with that there later? I got to get turned up tonight. I'll get back with you on that. Meanwhile, your girls are getting rubbed on by other girls. And he's like, can we get to that later? So, women, the quality of man you're with, if he ain't taking you down the aisle, he's taking you down to hell. It's as simple as that. Because now you really need a man to be a strong masculine presence. And dude is like, I'll get back with you on that. It's like, dude, I mean, they're already drawing rainbows and talking about what's wrong with me kissing a girl. Ooh, really? Can we come back a little bit later? So, no, I'm just going to tell you right now, if they're my children, no, I'm not waiting at all. If they're old enough to discuss this, first the thing you do is the warning of them. You shouldn't be discussing sexuality with children, but you certainly need to warn them that just like you would warn, well, let me try this a different way. How long would you wait to warn your children that somebody might touch on them inappropriately?
Oh, no, we had that conversation when they were pretty young, about 3.
Okay. So if you're trying to protect your children, if you could talk to them about them being touched on, yeah, you need to let them know. By the way, folk trying to groom you, because that's what this is about. How would they groom you? Starting to have tell me about adults trying to have discussions with you about your sexuality, television shows, anything trying to do that. So that's the kind of thing you would look for. So at this point right now, yeah, folks, y'all have discussions with your children about if some stranger danger. When they're at the point of you having the stranger danger conversation, you need to let them know about all the strangers and all the dangers. But let me be very, very clear. Listen to me, people. You cannot trust your televisions. So many of y'all are trying to get back to your life so you can go get turned up and crunk and parking the kids in front of a TV or an Xbox. What the hell? Steve Jobs wouldn't even let his children use an iPad. You all need to get your kids out from in front of these TVs and out from in front of these apps. They need to be at the park. They need to be reading books. You don't need to sit them down in front of damn me programming. And if they do sit in front of it, you need to be sitting right there with them. You don't park them in front of a TV while you go in the kitchen or sit up here and get on Tinder or TikTok. If they are watching TV, you need to be sitting right there so you can see what the hell it is. Because as you all have seen, 1 minute you're sitting there watching Barney, the next minute is Caligula.
True.
1 minute they're sitting there is Ren and Stimpy, and the next minute is Sweet and Sassy. Before you get to the next damn program, they have completely infiltrated this stuff. And what they've determined is nobody's going to latch on to a new product because everybody sees that coming and nobody wants it. So if you walk in the door with new stuff, people are going to just reject it outright. So what they're doing is saying, okay, let's buy established properties and alter those. Let's take your established superheroes and change them, because nobody really wants this stuff, so we'll just see if we can buy what's already out there and then change that. So then it becomes a bait and switch. Oh, look, it's Batman and Robin. Oh, hell, Robin's wearing a thong. I mean, well, what's wrong with that? We can have a conversation, because that's their whole thing is about, okay, let's open up and have a conversation. That's grooming. You shouldn't be trying to have a conversation with minors. That's grooming. A conversation about the sexual habits of minors. This is Roman bathhouse stuff. That's grooming. They've taken out all the damn stops. Jeffrey Epstein should have been a warning to everybody. Man, they are everywhere. They have infiltrated everything. Media, government, academia. They're everywhere and have infiltrated everything. Y'all better treat it like that. So no, ma'am. Jason, when should we have these discussions? The same age you're having the stranger danger discussion, because these are some of the strangers and that's some of the dangers. I'll leave you with this one last thing here. I remember years and years ago when Oprah Winfrey was talking about the stranger danger thing and was saying, have you told your children who a stranger is? And the expert she had on there said, well, when you usually ask the kids about who a stranger, when I ask them who's a stranger, they'll usually sit there and basically give me a cartoon caricature, the guy with the black hat and the mask on with the black trench coat, like Spy versus Spy. Mm-hmm. And as we all know, is that a stranger? Well, it's certainly an ominous looking creature, and he could be a stranger, yeah, but who is a stranger? Any person you don't know. So when people say it the wrong way, the children are not being properly educated. They're not ready. Hey kids, who is a bad influence? Oh, well, a bad influence. Well, that'll be the kids down there, the fellas who ride the motorcycles with the tattoos on their arms and the Hell's Angels jackets. A bad influence is anybody trying to introduce you to a new idea or some concept, and they didn't do it in front of me. Because that's the bottom line. Because what they've determined is that most of y'all sit up here and park your kids in front of a TV, and they're like, okay, great, here we go. Nobody to check her. Ain't nobody gonna check me, boo. Disney Plus my ass. So 30 years ago, maybe you could have trusted Disney a little bit more, although with the history of Walt Disney, we won't get into that little discussion. Ma'am, y'all can't trust any of this stuff anymore. Get your kids out from in front of those TVs. You need to curate what the hell they're watching, if they watch anything. And more importantly, if there's never been a time now more than ever for children to be reading a book. Studies have shown that children who read books are much more intelligent than the ones watching TV. Get them out from in front of those TVs. If you do something in front of it, it should be something that you are aware of. You don't allow your children to go adventuring. And everything's a damn adventure now. Everything is this soft and subtle thing. They got all these little cute little puppets and things and cute little characters, and everything starts off okay, but they know what the hell they're doing. They start the program off, and I know for a damn fact they don't start it off from the very beginning with two dudes smacking on each other. What they do is they'll start it off, and you gotta wait a good 5 or 7 minutes in, just long enough for the parents tune out as soon as they hear the damn crazy ass theme songs. And I'm fully convinced that the theme songs are insane for the purposes of running off adults. It's like, oh hell, this is like some crazy carnival. I can't stand this. As soon as they start the theme songs, it's flashing lights. The theme songs are crazy. Y'all sit up and say, okay, I'm out. And the kids are still sitting there. And as soon as the theme song is over, the executive producer, Miss Executive Producer, is like, okay, we ran them off. Do you all understand how much research goes into a television program on one of these networks? You all have to understand, especially ones that have advertising. Everything is calibrated. They have tons and tons of researchers who sit up here and calibrate how it works. Remember, Netflix is bigger than any of these other streaming channels. Why? Because Netflix had researchers who told them that, when one program ends, you don't need to give people the option to click on another program. You need to auto start the next one. Netflix is the one who created that thing. They call it binge watching, but in reality, it's what they call on YouTube auto starting. Because what Netflix used to do is, you watch one program and then you had to click on another one. They're like, oh, no. You need to make this thing where it's automated. It's automatic. When they watch one episode, damn them credits. As soon as it gets ready to roll the credits, bam, start the next program. Take thought out of it. Now, YouTube and everybody else does the same damn thing. Now, they call it binge watching, but the real thing is it's automated. Roll from one to the next. Why do you think they came up with that? And then YouTube, with its algorithm that it favors 15-minute videos, they know there's an obscene amount of research that goes into hacking the human mind. And children are easy to hack. So they understand what they're doing. So you've got a television program that is calibrated to run off the adults and seduce the children. Let me say that again. You got television programming that is calibrated. An adult and a child are both watching. It's going to run off the adult and it's going to keep hold on the child. The both of you sat for it, and it has two totally separate effects on the both of you. And you all can't figure that out. And oh yeah, one more damn thing, by the way. I'm the guy who doesn't even have children, and I know this. And I don't have children. And guess what? A bunch of these other folks at these places, they ain't got children either. And we know more about you and your kids than you do. Than you think you know about yourself. Yeah, that's just how much time and effort is dedicated to this. And while you all are sitting, if you want to know why I am so angry, and the word is angry, about how capricious you are with your children and whatnot, this is what the hell I'm talking about. The kids are just sitting out here sitting ducks because the parents have no defense whatsoever and no concept of it. And as you all know, I've got psychologists in my family. I've been seeing this since I was a child. I just gave you proof that, by the way, yeah, this is how it works. And there's a bunch of you who are sitting here like she is now, like, oh, hell, I didn't. Oh, boy, you're right. I never thought of it that way. You weren't supposed to. That's why you have to be vigilant. That's why you have to say, yeah, this stuff y'all watching right here, yeah, this is a little too silly for you. Let the kids be kids. Tell them dumbasses, sit the hell down. You're supposed to be raising your children to be adults, competent, capable adults. Childhood is a wonderful thing, but you're not here to perpetuate children. You're here to you're supposed to be the one grooming them to become adults. Because if you don't groom them, somebody else will. Jason, when should I start? Now.
Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it.
Thank you for giving us a call tonight. To all the single mothers out there, if you want to know what treason is you not keeping company with a competent masculine male. Dr. John Henry Clark talked about that. Even if you are not married, that would be preferred. But even if you are not married, your children need to be in the presence of a competent masculine male. Because when we see this kind of stuff here show up, we're going to send little LaToya here on her damn way. If you don't give me that damn remote control and turn this bull crap off, I'm not here to talk about your damn feelings. Turn that mess off. And any female who does not submit to that, that's treason. Caller from area code 601. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Jeremiah from Jackson, Mississippi.
Jeremiah from Jackson, Mississippi. What's on your mind?
Brother, this is an excellent critical thinking exercise you put out here today. Excellent lesson. And I taught in the public schools uh, as a full-time teacher, and I did sub at one point also, and that stuff is rampant in the school, and they have absolutely the children have been taught to disrespect the masculine teachers, and the teachers that are feminine. The kids love them because they're taught that way. And something else you said that was a very good point. I was gonna make it. I want to expound on it. You said that there are no shows out here that are showing black people in a good light, especially the children age. Listen, anybody that's listening, and you're black, you financial black American, hell, you could be from somewhere else in the diaspora. We need somebody that can make cartoons that a child can actually watch. You can't watch this shit, man. You know what happened to G.I. Joe? You know,
don't worry, they'll get around. They'll eventually try to get around to that too. They'll eventually try to get there. Now that one's going to be a bit harder because the core audience, they know who the core audience is for that. So that one's going to be harder to get to. Here's the real thing. G.I. Joe has been buried under a bunch of damn lace and lingerie. It has been buried under that, brother. You ought to check what the kids are watching today, man. Ask them what they're watching today.
It's sad, brother. It's sad.
I mean, what they got that there's a video. What's that? The damn video game? They got a video game with a black trans character sitting up there on it. I forget. Was it Fortnite? Is it Fortnite? I want to say little black trans character jumping around and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and check your email. I sent you something. Look, it says Magnolia on it, brother. Good talk. Keep it up, and please, if you can, you a treat. Push somebody to put some good, wholesome cartoons out there so black children won't be their minds colonized with this foolishness. Because the game plan is to get us to reproduce less because they want less black people on this planet. Thank you, brother.
Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 214. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Bill in the chat. I was told to call in. I'm trying to figure out why.
If you were told to call in, you already know why. Don't be a coward.
No doubt. Trust me, if I disagree with anything you said, I know how to unsubscribe and not listen. I totally agree with everything you're saying. So I'm trying to figure out. I'm sarcastic, very sarcastic. But I'm trying to figure out why I need to call in.
Is that a good idea, brother? Really? Truly?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure it out because the only thing I said was I agree with you.
All I said was.
I mean, because at the end of the day, we men here, so if I got something to say, I'll say it. Okay. I have no reason to.
Then who was it who said you're reaching?
When I said reaching, I'm talking about that dude you was talking about, the guy you was talking about. When you was talking about wanting to be with the kids and all that, I'm like, yeah, you want to reach out to the kids, all right. I wasn't talking about like you're reaching.
So you weren't talking about the host?
No.
Okay.
Dude, if I felt that way, man, I trust me. I wouldn't be listening to you every week. I would not listen. Every week I always put in there where my buying support is at. What about Chucks and Pearls? Every week I put it in there because I'm a sarcastic type guy.
For anybody who thinks that my mods are not checking everything, and please be aware, everybody, my mods are following my instructions. I put every one of my moderators through what I call mod school so that they understand how to read comments through my lens. So just understand there are things they look for. There are phrases and stuff they look for. So if you all want to know whether or not my mods are on their job, yes, they read everything.
I see.
Thank you for giving us a call here. Tread carefully. Tread carefully. Caller from area code 215. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, my name is Carol from Philadelphia.
Carol from Philadelphia, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind is an excellent show, and I also want to elaborate on two things. One is the word they. because I heard that a lot. And so I'm talking code. They are what you might call the small hats or Khazarian Mafia. That is the they. Part of the white supremacists that is infiltrating not only the children, they've already infiltrated the adults. A lot of adult churchgoers through Perry, Medea, and all of that. So the adults, not all adults, but a lot of the adults cannot be a role model for children because they're caught up in this.
I'm going to tell you right now, I really don't like that kind of. I really don't like that kind of stuff. I really don't like that kind of talk. It's really small-minded, not so bright people who do that. And I know there's a lot of y'all older folk who do that. Let's be very, very clear. You all do us no service whatsoever when you attempt to split hairs between white supremacists. You really don't do us any service when you all try to narrow it down to, well, you see, is this subgroup over here? Anyway, folks, you need to get a book, get some GED classes, and get your IQs up a bit more. That does us no service whatsoever to attempt to parse hairs, ma'am. I can show you white, Asian, LGBT. In this case here on your damn screen, it's a black female. Let's be very, very clear. And before somebody tries to say, well, you see, they work for this, that, and the other, every individual has the ability to choose. You're up against an ideology, and it's a white supremacist ideology. Let's be very, very clear about that. So, no, ma'am. I do not.
I agree with that, white supremacist, but it is
I don't parse,
segment.
Ma'am. First of all, we don't talk over the host.
You can call them small hats.
Okay, we're gonna call you gone. You can go drink your Schlitz malt liquor. Let's be very, very clear, folks. When you have somebody sit up here and stuff, and they sit at home while they're collecting their SSI checks and sitting up here trying to parse hairs over things, that's where we get into damn trouble. If you remember, the slave trade began with the damn Arabs. And you got some folks sitting up here trying to parse hairs over things because that's as far as they can wrap their brains around things. She'll be one of the minority coalition folk. We're supposed to sit up here and see everything from 720 degrees, and she'll have us just looking at one small dot over here. Well, you see, this way really came from right here. Tell Grandma get the Metamucil. Baby, go boil you some cream of wheat and take the weekend off. Caller from area code 443. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason, Craig from Baltimore.
Craig from Baltimore, what's on your mind?
Okay. Hey, this broadcast is on point, and also two other people, two folks that we also need to put on the guillotine for advocating this type of behavior into media. Kathleen Kennedy for undermining Star Wars, and also Alex Kurtzman for undermining Star Trek.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yes.
You're having a totally different discussion from the rest of us. This is not nigga nerd night. Folks, come on now. This is not beta blurred night. This isn't the time for those of you who got issues. But man, I sure do hate they killed off Luke Skywalker. If you want to see how hard it is to keep folk focused, here she come. When you know it's about the small hats, here he comes. Damn, they killed Han Solo. We talking about something totally different. Why'd they kill Han Solo, Jason? That wasn't right, man. Caller from area code 504. I hope you're a little bit smarter. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Jason. This is G from New Orleans.
G from New Orleans, what's on your mind?
Yes, brother. I'll be brief. Great broadcast. I enjoy the conversation. You're right on top point. I will point out to you, back as far in the 80s, a book by two gay men, Hunters and Kurt Matson. It was called After the Ball. It was written in 1989. They talked about how straight America would overcome its quote-unquote prejudice against gay America. and essentially making everybody who is against it the villain, and all the gay people in the TV series are considered, sympathetic characters. And I started to see that and it even went back in the 70s, even with episodes like in the Jeffersons and All in the Family. But I saw it even further, and we see it even further in the 90s and onward now, because there's always some type of Christian preacher who is villain, who is always shouting out gospel phrases, whereas the LGBTQ character or the gay character is seen in a positive light. And I can point to this, our politicians and our leaders, especially the so-called first black president, Barack Obama, he was heavily involved in pushing this Trojan horse into black America.
You are absolutely correct. Now, what you're saying, though, is that what you're going back is to the roots and the genesis of it, which is very important. Because when you go back to things like when the DSM changed homosexuality from a disorder to an orientation, what they were doing was setting the roadmap. And there were a lot of people, a lot of smart people, a lot of folk with PhDs, doctorates, a bunch of people who had spent their lives trying to figure out, how do we re-engineer the society so that it is acquiescent toward this? Because we know what our ultimate goal is. Our ultimate goal is to get our hands on the children. Now, that's the ultimate goal. But we got to reorient the society first. Now, that's not going to happen overnight. But the civil rights movement showed that there was a bit of revolution in the air. So if we can latch on to some of that energy, we can take that and use that, quote, momentum for our ends. So there are a lot of you, like I say, in the internet era, you all don't have books like that anymore, but he's absolutely right. There were a lot of radical thinkers, a lot of folk who sat down and were like, okay, we need to have a game plan to reorient the society at every level. And the two areas that they latched on to most were entertainment and media. Now, you notice I'm using those terms separately. Did you notice I'm using those terms separately? Because you see, there wasn't the political power. That was never there. What they did understand was if we slowly but surely begin to turn the pressure up, and if we can, we'll never be able, getting into politics is too difficult, but what we can do is we can infiltrate two key areas, New York and Los Angeles. So you try getting on Broadway if you ain't all the way down with the agenda. Try that. See how it goes. And then, of course, in Los Angeles. So they understood what they were targeting. Now, when I speak about media, now we're talking about your journalists. Many of whom, by the way, were fellow travelers. Now you're talking about your journalists. Now we're talking about your news anchors, your newspaper editors. They went to college, and in these colleges, they were indoctrinated by these people who were writing these secret books. These were these books that you could get only these arcane bookstores and stuff, but they made the rounds. And that was the way of circulating it back then, was make sure, okay, we gotta be quiet. You don't want to make a big splash. This is something that needs to be cultivated over the course of decades. We don't want to make a big splash. If we do, we make a big splash, we become a target. We can't allow that to happen. So it's got to be subtle. It's got to be quiet. But just keep circulating it and it'll get there.
Yeah.
Because they understood the 10% paradigm. If you can get 10% of a society to go along with something, it's almost inevitable that the rest of the society is going to go along. So they're just like, okay, we just need 2%, 4%, get the 10%, and then you go. But let's be very, very clear. The society as a whole has not gone along with it, but they have infiltrated enough places to be able to give the perception that everybody's on board, or the majority is on board. And that's the point they really wanted to get to. Even if we can't get the actual societal numbers, will infiltrate the areas, quote unquote, that really matter. Next thing you know, the politicians you're electing are on with their agenda and are really saying, damn the electorate at this point. But you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. I can name a bunch of books, but you are absolutely correct about that. These were folks who were getting published back in the day, alongside
Harvard men.
They were right alongside on Harvard, Yale, Princeton, UCLA in particular. That West Coast was very influential in this, by the way. That West Coast was very influential. When the hippie movement came, there were a bunch of them who came out of it. Yeah, they were long-haired and smoking weed, but eventually they put the weed down. They stopped promoting Timothy Leary, and eventually they put the weed down. And when they did, they went and got their degrees. And because when they got their degrees, they learned a whole new list of rules. Understand something. There's a reason why most of your quote-unquote secret societies are involved at your universities, people. There's a reason why most of your secret societies are attached to, evolve from, or emanate from your universities. And yes, I'm going to include your fraternities in that too, and the boule and all that mess. I'm including all that. There's a reason why they're attached to your universities. When you send your children off to these colleges and universities, just understand they are a stone's throw away from a secret society. And all of them involve sexual activity. Let me say that again. All, A-L-L, all of them involve sexual activity. You damn right, including your ski weed. There's a reason why that's a part of it. Can we be very, very clear? There's a reason why they're a part of that. I know I'm going to upset some of these folk here tonight. They're going to swear up and down. It wasn't my chapter. It wasn't my fraternity. We don't do that over here. No. Over here, Kappa Lace Front 5. We don't do that. Okay. You don't get a Kamala Harris by accident. And we can go down the damn list. How the hell is it that all these damn AKs are hoes? That's because that is a part of their quote-unquote secret society. Sexuality and sex is a part of it. And if these women were going to be honest, if they were actually honest, they would say that. And to you fellas, if you were honest, you say the same damn thing too. You would tell the damn truth. Well, they were doing some moist stuff over there. Instead, you all take a code of silence. But the rest of us are not fooled. So just understand, sexuality has always been ingrained in these secret societies, fraternities, these college campus groups. That's always been a part of it. If your chick has been a part of a sorority, just understand, you don't ask her for her sexual history, dude. You ain't got time to read all that. You really don't. She's not for the streets. She's for the curb. And that's just the ones, like I say, we need to have a point where we're totally honest about what the hell we're seeing. And yes, you'll notice that a lot of them are all right on board with the LGBT agenda. Oh, hell, did I just say everything? Yeah, how many of your ski-wee Kamala Harris supporters are sitting right there going, child, right, LGBT too, Equality Act. There's a bunch of y'all need to understand something. Let me tell you something right now. Your sorority chicks, if she been in a sorority, bruh, she done kissed another chick. Okay, come hate me. They gonna hate this. If your broad has been in a sorority, she done kissed another chick. Yeah, go let somebody lie to you about that. If your broad has been in a sorority, she done kissed another chick. You can be in denial of that if you wish to be. I'm just not going to play along with you. But let's just keep it real. If your chick has been in a sorority and she's a proud soror, yeah, back in the day when she was young. And wearing that thong and everything, okay. Tell yourself she wasn't. Tell yourself that. Whole bunch of dudes out here willfully naive. Tell yourself that. Now, for the males, what they try to do is tell you, okay, you need to sleep with a bunch of folk. But let's be very, very clear. A male who engages in hypersexual behavior, it's not going to be too difficult to get to, that you're going to be able to shave off a few of them. You're going to be able to shave off a few of them and get them to do some experimentation. They're not. It's not like with the females. With the males, we just trying to get a few of y'all. Because with the males, it's about quality, not quantity. With the males, see, butt breaking is something that you do for the alpha. Anybody can butt break the little rundown runt over here. There's no sport to that, and there's no amusement in that. Butt breaking is only fun when you can break the alpha. You find the biggest, strongest one, and if you can break him, well, I'll be damned. That's a great night at the movies. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. I'm making so many enemies here tonight. Y'all do, Jason, stop saying that right there. You shouldn't be saying that. Stop saying that. You know I'm telling the damn truth. Caller from area code 870. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason, how you doing? This is Trendsetter from Dallas.
All right, Trendsetter from Dallas. What's on your mind?
Hey, so I've been listening to your little conversation, and man, my son, he's 3 years old. He's like in kind of preschool, headed towards kindergarten. Real good boy. Only one in this class know how to read. So I went to go pick him up from school one day, and I seen that he was playing with dolls. I'm like, yo, what you doing playing with some dolls, man? So I told the teacher, I don't want my son playing with dolls and stuff like that. She didn't say nothing. You know, I'm a truck driver, so I don't really be around as much. But when I do be around, I do like to spend time with my son. So I came a month later, and I seen that he was playing with dolls again. And I had to have a serious conversation with the principal. I said, look, my son keep playing with dolls. I don't like this type of behavior. And just the simple fact that they comfortable with a boy playing with a dog, it rubs me the wrong way. You know, I talked to his mom about it and things like that. I mean, he's 3. He's still young. You never know which direction they want to go, but I do want to be a big influence. But how do I manage the time of me driving truck and being a big influence in my son's life?
Now, here's an area in particular here. I mean, you got to get out there and get it, and I understand that. But here's the other thing right here, because did you say that is your wife or your son's mother?
She's my wife.
Okay. Bruh, she's supposed to be on code, so it might be time to sit down and talk to her and say, hey, I got to get out here and get it, but you're supposed to be the female counterpart to me. So, truth be told, she's supposed to be sitting there riding the rails on that. Truth be told. So I think you need to sit down and let her know, hey, I'm out here on the road getting it and everything like that, but I'm getting it because you're supposed to be holding it down here. So, hey, she's supposed to be the one sitting up there in the damn office raising hell. She's supposed to be doing that. Truth be told. That's not even something you really supposed to be dealing with. So she's falling down on the damn job. So what you need to do is sit her down. It's time to have a come to trendsetter moment. And let her know, okay, these are the damn rules. Right. I don't have time to be sitting up here doing this. And that's what you're here for. I'm sitting here providing a life for you so that you ain't got to be sitting up here working your fingers at the bone. You're supposed to be on top of this. I don't want to see this again, period. So first and foremost, you need to holler at her and let her know, hey. The next thing you need to do is get with the rest of the family also. I'm talking about the grandparents. Let everybody know this is your household and we're not doing this. All hands on deck. If this is what Dallas, my old stomping grounds, if this is what Dallas is going to be, let them know, hey, we ain't having it. We're not having it. So you need to get the whole damn family on code and say, okay, apparently I didn't say this loud enough when I married this woman. So let me say this a little louder this time. And another thing, as far as that, they ain't decided yet, throw that out your damn vocabulary. Let's be very, very clear. Biology is biology. We're not having an increase in gay people. There never really has. You're having an increase in indoctrination. Biology doesn't even allow for this. What they want you, all they want you all to do is just sit back and be passive. Yeah, the father's raised a little ruckus. He's raised a little pushback, but the rest of the family's passive, so just keep pushing it. Because let's be very, very clear. If you all want to know if this is a white supremacist agenda, this man on this phone, I think you understand, trendsetter, if your son is more interested in being LGBT, guess what he's not a threat to? You grew up in the public schools you came through the public schools just like me. A powerless, distracted young black male is the most beautiful thing in the world to them. A young, intelligent one is the most frightening thing they can imagine. Well, we can't break his intelligence and we can't put his little ass in special ed. Damn! Maybe we can get him interested in something else. Maybe we can make him a non-threat in another way. Here, hand him this Kimber doll. Maybe we can get his little sharp mind to start running laps in other areas.
And see, that's another thing too. Like I told you, he's 3. He's the only one in this class that know how to read. So, I really do take my time and make sure my son, is intelligent. But at the same time, it's like, and I've talked to my wife about this. Like you said, she's real passive. Our kids be kids. He'll learn when he get older. It's like, it's not really getting to her like I wanted to. And we have a lot of problems, when I talk to her about this. She act like she understands, but I don't really think she fully understands.
Team reflects leadership. I'm not going to get into your marriage. Right. I never tell folk to divorce people. I'm never going to give that advice. I'm going to tell you team reflects leadership. Did you notice I said you need to talk to her, and then did you notice the next thing I said you need to do?
What's that?
Okay, this nigga is already not listening. Yeah.
Talk to the family.
You need to get the whole family involved and let them all know, hey, I know y'all be sitting up here thinking I'm on the road. I ain't bull jiving. I'm not okay with what I'm seeing here, and I expect everybody to be all hands on deck. So what you're doing is you're spreading accountability for it, so that the whole damn family is aware. So y'all sit up here and try to keep it on one roof. That's one time you let the whole family know, hey, mama, grandmama, everything else. You got your little screwball ass daughter over here messing around and being passive. Hey, I'm not for it. I'm not for it. Now that's one time you do put the family in the business to let everybody know what the hell the agenda is. Did your wife come from a 2-parent home?
Yeah, she did.
Okay, well, I'll be damned. You need to go talk to your father-in-law and your mother-in-law, unless they're dead.
Well, see, that's her daddy did. Her daddy died. But,
okay,
she still got a mom.
One down, one to go. I'm not trying to be irreverent, but yeah, bro, we don't do that. Not at all. Not at all. Everybody needs to be aware so that everybody understands what the agenda is. Sir, team reflects leadership. If they see you take it seriously, they will take it seriously. If they see you're not really taking it seriously, or you're a paper tiger, you bark big, but you ain't okay, they're gonna do that too. I don't know how many different ways to tell you.
And what really made me really want to take it serious? I know this older guy, and he said that his son was gay, and he don't have any grandchildren. He kind of feel a little lonely. When he was young, he wasn't really in his son's life. He kind of let his mama do whatever. And over the years, his son became gay, and now he wants grandkids, and he can't have it. So I be listening to what he's saying, and like I said, I know my son young. I just don't want that to happen to me because I do want grandkids. I want a big family, and it's scary out here. You know, it really is.
What does your wife do for a living, sir?
She do hair and she decorate events.
There you go. Bruh, she fancies herself being more on the creative side of things. Sir, you need to put your foot down. That this is not a minor issue, that you're not playing and you're not kidding. This is deadly ass serious. And then you need to be specific about what it is. And then you need to follow up with it. You out there on the damn road, you got time to call her. And speak to your son too. You got time to talk to them. But let her know that you've delegated this to her and that you're going to hold her accountable, that she's the damn mother. You shouldn't have to be checking on this. She's supposed to be doing that. And let her know that you've told everybody, this is what I expect. This is no time to be passive. This is what the hell I expect. I'm the one saying this, y'all. All of you sitting here, you heard this from me. Thank you very much for giving us a call here. To the men out there, brothers, you got to stand up on this. Team reflects leadership. If you being all weak and passive, well, you know, it's my happy wife, happy life, kiss my ass. There's a time for domestic tranquility, and then there's a time to sit up here and say, hey, no, we ain't having that. Well, she give me peace and quiet. Okay, I don't need her giving the school peace and quiet. She needs to give you peace and tranquility. She needs to be giving the school hell. Call from area code 901. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on, Jason? This is Dave from Memphis, Tennessee.
What's on your mind, brother?
Oh, yeah, I just want to say, I remember when I was in elementary, one of my teachers used to always say that this the age our mind like a sponge. And when I got older, I also heard a researcher say that from a certain age to a certain age, children's mind, they absorb things that they see, that they hear, that they talk. So it's like they already know what they're doing. They already ahead of us. They already know that this type of programming can have an effect on a child's mind. And then when it gets to that point, it's like the parents have the time, like you said, a lot of them ain't involved. The teachers in there, they running rampant. So the parents don't know what to do nowadays. And now we get situations like what's going on with Dwayne Wade, where he just letting his child choose his sexuality, and the child really
letting
don't
that
know,
woman choose
what he's going to do.
Let's be very, very clear. Most of the people, the real tragedy of society today is that the people having the kids aren't qualified to raise them, and the people qualified to raise the children don't have kids. That's the crazy part. The people who would make the best parents don't have kids, and the people who have the kids are not the best parents. They really just want to get through their life, do what they doing, and let somebody else raise them. They want to put the children on autopilot so they can get back to doing something else. As opposed to, these children should be my sole focus because they're my legacy. They just like, oh, well, we dropped the load. Didn't really want to get you pregnant in the first place, but oh, well, we here, so. And that's where we are today. That's the real reality. 5 decades of the, quote, sexual revolution and free sex and all this stuff. All you really got is a bunch of folk out here having kids, and they're not invested in being parents. Men who are not invested in legacy, and women who are not invested in mothering. And that's how you got here. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get a call from area code 804. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mr. Black. This is Jamila. This is from Richmond, Virginia.
Geneva from Richmond. What's on your mind?
I'm starting to realize that this infiltration is coming from many different areas, including the church. And I've seen it come through the ways that you were speaking of with the secret societies on the male and the female side. I'm going to speak more so for the female side because that's what I've seen, and I'm a female. And one of the things that is coming through as far as coming with the debutante balls with the girls and coming by way of trying to teach them things like etiquette, getting them to participate in tea parties and things like that. These women in these secret societies also get them at the high school level. They get them to participate in all types of things that will, quote unquote, help them to be more classy and dignified. So it presents itself as something that is helpful on one end. And then you fast forward to situations where they're applying to go to college and they intentionally set these same girls up in rooms with a known friend of their a friend of theirs whose child they know is gay, and they're trying to, without specifically saying to a child they want them on that agenda, they will put them in that situation to have to deal with that while they're in college. But they already got them while they were in church going to Sunday school. Then they filter them on through high school, through the debutante balls and things like that. Then they filter them on through college, into the dorm rooms, into, you know, whatever they do on campus to initiate, or whatever the case may be. So it's coming through a lot of different ways that are other than just.
Well, I mean, the church certainly helps facilitate those kind of things. I mean, there's certain churches who are doing stuff, but this should be more of a call to people to be more vigilant. If nothing else, they need to be more vigilant. These other folk out here got their agenda and they're pushing it. The sensible people need to stop being passive and understand there's a lot of little activists out here trying to push their own way of reshaping the world. Let this be a wake-up call to get more active. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get a call from area code 612. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Jason. Good evening. This is George from Minnesota.
George, Minnesota. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, but I've been reflecting on this topic that you are discussing on. I know that there have been ways that they have tried. You know, the black man, the black family, we are the moral compass of any society. If you look back historically, we have been the moral compass. So for them to push this agenda, they are hemming us from every angle. First of all, they look for our vulnerabilities. One, they tried to use the hip-hop to push the gay agenda there. It didn't gain traction. Next, they utilized our very able, big, strong masculine men to come up with the idea of, toxic masculinity to soften us, the black men. But, it didn't really gain traction the way they wanted. Now they use gay men, gay women on public, in the entertainment, in news to normalize it, though we are still fighting back because these programs that you run is very, very detrimental. It's very, very important to our community. It's very important to the black family because when you take certain things that are, beneath the carpet, underneath the carpet, and you expose it, you throw light on it, that is the assault, that you assault that particular, agenda. I'm really happy that you are discussing this thing. They use other things. The other aspects, like when they split the men and the women and empower our women, they easily penetrate our women because those people who are even pushing this type of agenda in the black community are mostly women who are even more sympathetic and accepting of this agenda in the black community. So they do everything possible to emasculate the black men, push them aside because they're the ones who are the moral compass. Then they can sort of hit the assault on the women. And because they are palatable to the society and to the dominant society, and then they let go of, they open up for them to push that agenda into the black community. But when you come up with this type of programs and you throw light on it and expose it, this is really a counter that you are really doing. I really appreciate what you are doing to the black community. I mean, years will come by and people really understand what you have been doing to us. Thank you very much, brother.
Well, thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight, George. You are absolutely correct. The protector and provider is the one you have to target. Look, this is basic warfare. You have to knock off the warrior class. You dispose of the men. You have a bunch of women and children, single mother home. And that's it, man. You got them dominated. Neutralize the warrior class. Leave the women and the children. The next generation belongs to you. Caller from area code 646. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, my name's Sandra, and I'm calling from Brooklyn, New York.
Sandra from Brooklyn, what's on your mind?
This is a cesspool for what you're talking about because of that DOE down in Lower Brooklyn there. Let me tell you, watch your children. The lady from Newburgh, do not be afraid to roll up on the school. My parents rolled up on the schools unannounced. See what's going on. And they should not try to stop you from seeing your children, because when the children know you're not coming, they'll be better in line. Ask them about the day. Discuss it. Anything that you do not like, roll up in the school and have a chat. And it's not really a chat. It's going to be quite fiery. Do not play with these people. I'm a former teacher. I'm a baby boomer, but I was always ahead of the crowd when I said that I was always fighting. So they don't like me. They banned me from the Department of Ed, and I'm proud about that, because I am not going to allow them to take us down. Okay? So for the baby boomers out there, wake up. Help the younger generation. This is war.
Let me find out something here now, because I had an earlier caller call in earlier, and she asked at what age. She asked at what age should you start having these discussions with your children about this type of indoctrination in school? What do you think?
The younger, the better, because they won't hide anything from you. Oh, what did you talk about in school? Oh, mommy, we did this. Really? Get on the phone with the father, the grandmother. Have that meeting. For the lady in Newburgh, I'm in New York just like you. I've had students from Newburgh. The sooner, the better. Okay? I'm a baby boomer. My parents rolled up on us. Okay? When they rolled up on us, they were downstairs talking to the principals. And the principals were like, oh, your mother, she's always here. Why shouldn't she be? You got a problem with that? You hiding something?
As a matter of fact, they do.
You know? Well, then you're going to be there popping up all the time. And if they stop you, yank your children. I think you should yank them anyway from 2020, because that gave you a chance to yank them out of the school. You better yank them now, especially if they're teenagers, because they're so, teenagers are very sensitive and they are very impressionable. They can ruin a lot. And the gentleman about depopulation, yeah, they want to start with us. I don't think so. No, it's not going down like that. Okay, so I just want to get off the phone, but people, this is war. All's fair. Okay, they're not playing fair with you. We don't play fair either. Okay, just so you know.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Like I say, definitely for those of you who have children and whatnot, I don't have kids, and I see how outrageously dangerous this is. Yeah, I mean, you do what you have to do. Let me get caller from area code 210. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, Jason. This is Tony from San Antonio.
Tony from San Antonio, what's on your mind?
So, as somebody who is single and childless, but has 2 young nephews, and is pretty concerned about the topic that we're talking about here, how can someone like in my position proceed to protect my nephews?
Yeah, that can be a tough one, because here's the problem: when folks sit up here and try to put us in charge of single mothers with their kids, we don't have authority. That's the real problem. We have proximity, but we don't have authority. Now, here's the great irony. This is the same position the schools are in. They got proximity, but they don't truly have authority unless you allow them to have that. So the real thing you got to do, man, is you got to be the cool uncle. I think that's a really good thing to have, is that a lot of you fellas out here, man, y'all need to be about cars. Y'all need to be about mechanics. Y'all need to be about that, because you don't know where your brother, I don't know whether the brothers or sisters you have, parents and nieces and nephews, but being the cool uncle can be a very influential position to be in, but you got to be on top of that. You got to be on top of that, and check on them as often as you can, man. With my nieces and nephews, I try to see them every week when I'm available, because like I say, now they're a lot older and stuff, but when they were growing up and things, I would come see them every time I was in town. Every time I was there, I try to see them at least once a week. So I think that's a very good thing to do, man. I would, if you're available to, that's what I would try to do.
I can definitely do that. I live in the same town.
Well, definitely that would be the thing to do. You can check in with them just once a week and see how it's going and stuff, and pull somebody's coat if you hear something that ain't right.
Mm-hmm. And I also just wanted to comment on something else too. Just an observation I had growing up, because I'm a little bit younger than a lot of the audience. I'm about 30, but I remember growing up seeing like some of the indoctrination and the messages too, like from shows like. I mean, you used to see like your classic Bugs Bunny and stuff like that, but it was used to be like kind of something that was like it was supposed to be funny but absurd. But then you had something like shows like what's that called, Glee, where it's like everybody is LGBT and open and it's children, and then you have like other shows and things like that showing like featuring like kids.
Well, once you get to the 2000s, that's when they started taking off and saying, okay, let's really go ahead and jump out there with it. So they started transforming the programming then to say, okay, let's see how much it became about pushing the envelope and see how much they can get away with. Thank you very much for giving us a call. We're coming up short here on time, so I need my callers to keep their comments brief. I want to try to get to as many people as I can here. I got dozens of calls waiting here. I'm going to try to get to as many as I can, but callers, keep your comments brief or I will assist you in keeping them brief. Caller from area code 216, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason. This is Damon from Cleveland.
Damon from Cleveland, what's on your mind?
Yeah, so keeping it short, you talking about grooming with these TV shows. I thought it was something to say about, the control groups and how parents actually, bring their kids in to actually have them tested for all these different shows. And that's kind of, in addition to a lot of other things, how they really clue in and key in on how to really attack these kids nowadays. The other thing I wanted to say was, as far as when it comes to parents and, sitting their kids in front of TV, especially when they're, angry, upset, and they're yelling at their kids all the time, and then they sit them in front of the TV, those kids really gravitate towards, looking for that parental figure for the TV. So I just wanted to let them people know, hey, you got anger issues, get some help.
Definitely that helps as well. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get call from area code 646. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Onan from Queens.
Onan from Queens, what's on your mind?
Yeah, Jason, first off, I got to give a shout out to you. Great broadcast. There's a movie that I thought about when you were initially speaking. I don't know if you ever heard of The Network.
Patty Chayefsky.
With Peter. Okay, yeah. So there's a scene by Peter Finch where he kind of gives this televangelist rant about how the television basically is set up to control the mind of the audience. And I feel like this absolutely applies to the pushing of the LGBTQ agenda, specifically upon the youth, right? Because they understand, well, the people in the media understand that the real business that they're in is mind control, as Professor Black Truth likes to state. But I think that they are exercising the powers of the media to push through an agenda because they know that kids are basically soft targets. They're like sponges that just soak up information. And
well, also because they don't fight as much. That's the real thing about it, is understanding children don't have debating skills because they're in a young phase. They don't actually know or have any concept of how to debate what they're hearing. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me get a caller from area code 475. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Brianna. It's from New York.
Brianna from where at in New York?
Brooklyn, New York.
Brianna from Brooklyn. Have I spoken to you before, Brianna?
No, you've never spoken to me before. This is the first time I'm calling in.
Okay, Brianna. And do you have any children?
I don't have any children.
Okay. And what's on your mind?
I mean, I agree with most of the things that you say on your broadcast. I myself am a gay woman, Black woman.
I wonder where this is going.
Listen, all I want to say to you guys is I don't think that there's an actual gay agenda.
Of course not. Tell us more.
Okay. If anything, the trans community has infiltrated the LGBT community and are mixing things up and creating a society where we don't understand what the hell is going on. I think that's the issue. I don't think that anyone can make a child want to grow up and put a phallus object in their mouth. Like a boy is not going to want to do that just because he saw dudes kissing on TV. Makes no sense.
Ma'am. Now, I'm just going to take it that you must be young. I'm not going to take it that you're being deceitful, because that comes out a lot from the LGBT agenda community. How old are you?
26.
Okay. You need to ask yourself a few questions here before you start trying to defend your practices. Because first and foremost, you understand that sexuality, yes, it can be congenital, but it can also be socialized. You are aware of that, aren't you?
Sure.
Okay, so you're aware.
I'm aware of that, but
okay,
I'm also aware
ma'am, slow down. You're here to learn something. You said something that is grossly devoid of knowledge and understanding. It's time to correct that because you're in error. It's time to correct you with facts, not your feelings. Are you also aware that children who have been molested are several times more likely to engage in same-sex practices? Simply as a result of having been, simply as a result of having been molested. Now, that's not even up for debate or question. Even your most ardent gay psychologist will concede, oh yes, Tyler Perry is proof. We can go down the list. So your argument that, well, I mean, a boy is not going to just do that. Actually, if you start messing with children, messing with their minds and everything else, yeah, we're not even going to get into prison, by the way. That's children. We won't even get into adults, by the way. We won't even get into adults. Sigmund Freud once said the only unnatural sex is none at all. So, ma'am, what you're saying isn't a biological fact. You're saying a slogan, but you're not actually quoting biology. And certainly not sexual conditioning. A person can, especially a child, can be conditioned. Yes, ma'am, absolutely. Hell, the fact you got white kids running around with a black scent, that's conditioning. As soon as the police arrest them, all of a sudden, oh, wait a minute now. Hi, my name is Brad. I don't know anything about this. That's conditioning.
So you're saying that the condition... Okay, so you're saying that kids could be conditioned one way or the other, but how
I didn't say that. Whoa, slow down. I didn't say that. You just conceded it. So I didn't say that. You just conceded that's true.
Okay. I've never been conditioned to.
How would you know?
I've only ever seen successful.
How would you know?
I've only ever seen successful heterosexual marriages.
How would you?
How would I know?
How would you know if you were conditioned or not?
Because I've lived my experience.
Okay, that doesn't answer my question. How do you know you were not conditioned?
I simply know that I'm not conditioned to be gay. That doesn't make sense to me.
No.
How would I be conditioned?
You say you weren't, but you don't have any.
How would I be conditioned?
No, it's not about how, ma'am. It's not about how. It's not about how you would be conditioned. What usually happens is things that people think are perfectly normal and perfectly fine and perfectly okay. Here, I got to turn this thing off. I didn't know it started auto playing. Giving folks a second ad break. In any case, ma'am, you don't know if you were conditioned. All you know is how you've come out of it. You don't know that. And furthermore, let's be very, very clear. I don't really get into these conversations with LGBT people because they're always going to say the same thing. They're going to leave out that uncle. They're going to leave out that teacher. They're going to leave out that Sunday school teacher. They all claim that there was no influence. Then you go see their family reunion and there's little limp people all over the place. While she's sitting up here claiming that that's not the case. Ma'am, you're
the only gay person I ever saw was a math teacher. Like that was.
Ma'am, you're from Brooklyn. They literally have a damn gay parade in New York.
It's not in Brooklyn.
And I didn't say. Did I say it was in Brooklyn?
I'm saying,
ma'am, did I say it was in Brooklyn?
You implied that.
Oh no, I did not, ma'am. I said that you. No, I said you live in Brooklyn. They have a gay pride parade in New York.
They have a gay pride parade in many cities.
Thank you very much. So I want you all to understand the reason why I said you cannot have these conversations with these kind of individuals is because they're going to be intellectually dishonest down the line. They're going to be dishonest. So if you ask them questions, you're not actually going to get a truthful answer a lot of the time because they're going to give the approved political agreed upon answer that they give to everything. She's not actually going to give a truthful answer. So yeah, I didn't say it's in Brooklyn, but you have a gay parade in that city. Brooklyn's not a city.
A lot of cities have gay parades, but I don't see how.
Okay, but you just said you weren't you weren't conditioned.
I wasn't. I never seen a gay parade when I was a kid growing up.
Okay, but when you have a behavior that is normalized at a mass level, then when you encounter an event in your life that is a pivotal event, yeah, that could swing you either which way. So that's what really happens. First, you inundate and ma'am, be quiet.
I get
ma'am, be quiet. First, you saturate the environment with never-ending access to this atmosphere. And then there will be certain individuals that they will run into situations and whatnot. And then from there, it goes from there. Now, by the way, where's your father?
My father also lives in Brooklyn.
Okay. Is he married to your mother?
Not anymore. Both my parents remarried.
Since when?
Since when? Since I was a child.
There you go. And who's been?
Because my parents are remarried.
No. Let's not do that. Who raised you? Your mother or your father?
My mother.
There you go. Wasn't no conditioning.
So
wasn't no conditioning. It wasn't no conditioning. No, wasn't that. Wasn't no conditioning. No.
So because my mother raised me, I'm gay. But if my father raised me, I would be straight.
I did not say that, ma'am.
Because they both raised me.
Ma'am, they couldn't have both raised you, ma'am. That's impossible. You're talking silly, but you have to talk silly because you're trying to defend a position from an emotional standpoint, not a factual one. They couldn't have both raised you. By your own admission, these were two separate households. How can your father raise you from a separate household?
And I'm asking you, do you feel like if my father raised me, then I would be straight?
I don't know. If you had been raised by ma'am, if you've been raised by your father, I would have had different questions.
Okay, so what are your questions?
Okay,
for me
ma'am. No. Don't peek behind the curtain.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm being honest. I'm not even trying to do anything. I'm really, really concerned as to why Black America is so concerned about the gay agenda when they should be trying to get money.
Jay-Z's mother.
Huh?
Jay-Z's mother.
What was that?
You heard me the first time.
Jay-Z's mother? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I didn't hear you the first time.
There you go.
I hear you now. Jay-Z's mother. I'm listening.
Ma'am, here's the real issue. And in regard to the silliness you just said, Black folk need to be concerned about. The fact you're calling us up right now to talk about this means that you're not concerned about, quote, Black folk getting money, which is an idiotic phrase. Just knock it off. Obviously, you're not concerned about that.
I have a whole... You don't know everything that I do, but I am.
I know you're on the phone right now trying to defend something that you claimed is trivial. If this is so trivial, then you shouldn't be even calling about it. It shouldn't even matter to you. If it shouldn't matter to us, then it damn sure shouldn't matter to you. Why does this matter to you so much since you just claimed it's trivial and it shouldn't matter to us? Then why does it matter to you?
It matters to me that you guys have a lot of discussion about it when I feel like it's a distraction from the things that are more important.
But you're talking too.
Families together.
But you're talking too. So you're claiming that we're the distraction, but you're talking too. So why are you being a distraction?
I didn't say we're the distraction. I'm saying that the topic at times becomes a distraction from the things that we could be better focusing our time on.
Okay, then why are you not focused? If that's the truth, then why are you not focused on that? Fourth or fifth time I've said it now.
Okay, so if someone is distracted, you can try to avert their attention to things that are more important. That's what you do when someone is distracted.
But if it's trivial, you keep
You get their attention.
No, ma'am.
And move their.
If it's not important to you, then it shouldn't be important enough to speak on.
It is important for
Thank
the Black
you.
community to
So
not be so
it
worried about
thank you. So
gay
it is
people.
no. Now, what are you so worried is going to happen by focusing on that? What are you so scared is going to occur?
I mean, personally, I just feel like we could be focusing on bigger and better things.
Okay, we could be
because I don't
focusing on
actually think
climate change.
that
According to the
media can
climate
make you-
change people, we should be focusing on climate change. According to the conservationists, we should be focusing on the environment. According to the transcendental meditationists, we should be focusing on our spirituality. There's any number of people who claim there are bigger things we could be focusing on. What makes you right?
I just don't see what the actual agenda would actually do to the Black community.
Okay.
Personally, I don't see what it would do because I haven't harmed the community in any way. I don't promote anything. You don't see me posting any gay flags. You don't see me at no parade. You don't see me going out to any rallies. I don't do that. Like
The
that is
fact
literally
that
not-
you are
that's a
so
completely
triggered
different
that
lifestyle.
you are more concerned about defending your sexuality than anything else is proof positive that that's wrong. Your very presence here to speak proves that statement is wrong. And what you cannot prove is that you can't prove that you're not here speaking.
I am here speaking.
That's right. So very clearly, this gay agenda must be more important than anything Black people are normally focused on. And that's the reason why we're talking about it. Because yes, there is an undercurrent that wants this to become a priority that supersedes everything else. Because children
Absolutely
who are
not. In fact, I
children
don't
who are
want that.
focused on their sexuality turn out like you, focusing on that and being triggered and motivated by that.
I've never focused on my sexuality. It's not the only part of me.
You opened the phone call.
Like I have so
you
many
opened the
other
phone
things.
call focusing on it. What are you talking about? You're recorded. You opened the phone call focusing on it.
The phone call was about the fact that this is an entire distraction where we need to be focused on equity and building and doing all other things. I don't think that someone can make you gay from television because
Okay,
I wasn't
you
made
don't,
straight
ma'am.
from television.
You don't.
so that
You
doesn't
don't
make
think that
sense.
all of this. What we're talking about is there are a bunch of influences in schools, TV, and everywhere else trying to distract our children from being productive Black citizens and getting them to focus on considering adopting the gay lifestyle. And you're saying that we shouldn't be focused on keeping the children focused?
I don't think that works. I don't think it works like that.
Okay,
I don't
are
think
you
media
saying?
can
Are you
make someone
saying
gay.
that? Are you? No, I didn't. It doesn't matter what you think. We've already told you what it is. Are you saying that television programming has no effect on people?
I don't think it has as much of an effect as
Okay,
we
that
think.
wasn't what I
especially
asked you,
sexuality.
ma'am. That wasn't what I asked you. Second try. Are you telling everybody here that television programming has no effect on people?
I never said no effect, but I
Okay,
don't believe
thank
that
you.
there's a huge
Okay,
effect
well,
on
no. You can't quantify
no.
what the effect is. What you can tell us is whether it has an effect or not.
Okay, so I don't think it has an
Ma'am,
effect.
okay. So you're saying that television programming has no effect on people?
Yeah, I've seen people sell drugs. I've seen people hoe in movies.
Okay,
I've never done any of it.
But nobody asked what. First of all, we don't know what you've done or haven't done. But second of all, you understand something. If you want to destroy your credibility quicker than anything else, just be so concerned to go so hard body for your sexuality that you start saying silly, irrational things. Television has no programming on you. This is the whole reason why this matters. You are so married to your sexuality that you're willing to sit up here and say silly things that deny rationality because you care more about your sexuality than you do about anything else. And that's the reason why
That's
speaking
not
about
true.
this is so important. Ma'am, you just sat here and said that TV programming does not have an effect on people because you understand where that goes next.
I don't believe it has an effect on people.
Okay, and just understand, I don't have to destroy your credibility at that point. When you do things like that, that destroys your credibility. Ma'am, if TV programming has no effect on people, then why do politicians pay for political ads?
Because they want to put their message out or something. I don't know.
Okay, put their message out, ma'am. They want to.
Do.
Okay, put the message out. Why do they want to put their message out? Why are they trying to do that?
I mean, because they're doing what politicians do, which is try to get a vote.
Okay, but why is it? Why are they paying? Why are they putting something on TV? Okay, how is putting on something on TV going to get a vote?
Because people don't really like to read.
Okay, ma'am. According to you, what's on TV doesn't influence people's behavior. So why would the politician pay for an ad? How is he going to get a vote through a TV ad if television doesn't influence your behavior?
So are we talking about entertainment, or are we talking about politics?
If what you see on TV does not influence your behavior, then why would putting an ad on TV get a vote?
I mean, can you actually prove that television alone has created people's votes? I don't know.
Ma'am, you just sat here and said, well, they pay for ads on TV because they want to get a vote. Well, they can't get a vote unless the ad influences people's behavior. And you already know this. Now, this isn't telling her now. Ma'am, if you have to ask a question in response to a question, you've already conceded that you've been defeated. And that's the point. You're so married to your sexuality that you're denying rationality and reason. Understand, you're destroying your whole agenda right now. When people hear you do things like this, just understand, I don't have to do anything at this point. All we got to do is just let you keep saying that.
You made a statement, and I have no agenda. My whole point is just that
what you see on TV influences people's behavior. And what your children are told in school influences their behavior. That's why it matters. And you know all of this. But you are more in line with the LGBT agenda than you are with black people, which is why now you're saying irrational things, because this is how much you care about it and how dedicated and devoted to that you are. And that's why we have to have programs like this tonight.
Okay, well, if it helps your agenda, then that's great. Like, if it helps prove your point, and then you can eventually get over it.
Getting over it, and we're not going to dismiss it. Now that we've identified the problem, we got a hammer on it.
Sure, yeah, then you just make all the television super duper straight, and then you make sure you tell all your kids to be super duper straight, and then everyone will be super duper straight, and hopefully everyone starts actually paying attention to what's actually important, which is building. The black community has bigger concerns than who's gay and who's doing whatever sexual random thing that they're doing.
Those concerns
you have to focus on the health of the actual community.
Those gay issues are so trivial that you've called in to argue in favor of them.
I'm not in favor of any gay issues. I don't even know what the gay issues are. Like, their issues don't even make sense. Like, that's not my issue. I don't think gay people have real issues. They just, right now at this point with the whole LGBT community stuff, I have no idea what's going on. I don't agree with 90% of what's happening. I don't even believe that it makes sense.
Well, on that point, we do
But
agree.
we have a lot of straight people. We have a lot of straight people that are also sitting here and telling people that, oh, this and that, these are women and these are not women, and you call these people theys, and then the theys, and it's just a lot going on, and it's not just gay people involved in that. It's a lot of heterosexual or so-called heterosexual people that are pushing this idea.
Because thank you. Okay, and the heterosexual people who are pushing it now, why are they doing it if they are not gay?
I have no idea.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. They're doing it because if they've grown up watching cartoons telling them that good heterosexual people consider being gay or support being gay, they grow up into adults who consider being gay or support it. even though they don't actually have any interest in it or a dog in the fight. They have no personal interest in it, no personal liability, no personal benefit, and yet they identify with the ideology.
I don't think they identify with it. I think people are afraid of
You just said they did. You
cancellation.
just said it. You just said it.
I don't think they actually identify with it. I think they are afraid of pushback. I think they're afraid of cancellation. I think people are afraid to just say
But without saying how they got there, ma'am, there's a bunch of folk who are not afraid of it. What influenced the ones who are?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm not saying it could be cancellation.
Absolutely. Has nothing to do with 3 decades of programming, 3 decades of Disney, 3 decades of cable, 3 decades of Glee, 3 decades of the P word, the L word, whatever it is, 3 decades of that. Has nothing to do with that at all. Now, does it? Not at all. There is last week on Twitter, something that showed up last week on Twitter. It's not all this other stuff that's been going on for decades. That ain't got nothing to do with it.
What happened on Twitter? What happened on Twitter?
Cancel,
and I'm just saying
cancel culture is only a couple of years old, ma'am. You're dismissing all the television program, movies, and school indoctrination of the last 3+ decades. This is how dedicated to the gay agenda you are.
I'm saying if gay people are like 5% or less of the entire population, how can such a small, minute people influence such a large, dominant society? And even if there are 10 shows that are gay, there's thousands of shows on television. I don't understand, how can
First of all, there's not thousands of shows on television. So first of all, you need to get your brain right. Second of all, ma'am, you just asked a question. Ma'am, you just asked a question. It's time for you. Once again, it's time. And I'm not really talking to her because understand she's married to the gay agenda. But for the rest of you who might fall for little ad hominems and canards like she's giving there, I want you to understand where the fallacies are in that. How can a small group of people control a whole society? Ma'am, the 5 richest white men in America have more money than all the black folk in America and probably the planet combined.
Okay.
5,
ma'am,
ma'am, 5 men. 5. Not
control all the money.
Not even,
are they controlling
ma'am,
you,
not
Mr.
even
Black?
500. 5. Not
Okay,
even
and are they
500
controlling you, Mr.
men.
Black?
Those 5 men. Elon Musk has more influence over American society than any group of black people, black society as a whole. Elon Musk has more influence over American society than black people as a group do. Elon Musk has more influence with one tweet on Twitter than black society does over this whole nation.
Okay, I understand, but then if he has
I just proved it. Well, he's just one guy, ma'am. Now, how much influence do hundreds of executives at Disney, one of the largest, if not the largest television media corporation, one of the largest television media corporations on the planet, how much influence do those executives at that company have? If Elon Musk as one person has that much influence, how much influence do 50 executives at Disney have?
I don't know. I can't quantify that.
Okay, you already understand that you've lost. So what you need to do is replay this program and just understand that while you have been on the outside looking in, you felt like an outcast. You're married to this because you've really just felt like an outsider. And we have the awkward kids who feel like misfits. And I understand it. I get it. But when you become a foot soldier for something like this, just understand rationality and reason goes out of the window. Just understand you only become irrational for something that you are emotionally married to. And you need to check on yourself about what you're emotionally married to. Your feelings are never supposed to trump what you know. You're never supposed to become a person who argues over something you feel. You're supposed to argue over what you know, not what you feel. If what you know refutes what you feel, you're supposed to abandon what you feel and embrace what you know. That's called adulthood.
Well, thank you for the lesson. I respect it. I don't have any argument, I guess. I'm still going to believe that Black people need to focus on equity and building the community. It is what it is. But
Thank
I
you for
understand
giving us
everything.
a call tonight. Like I say, definitely I want you all to understand, just ain't no real, ain't no TV. They are very, very interested and very, very married to it. And that's all the more reason for everybody else to be very much on guard. She's going to sit here and tell you television has no effect, but she's arguing over it. She knows better, and you know better. I want you all to get to a point when you realize a person has exhausted their argument, they're like, yeah, now the real thing comes out. Well, I don't think it has any effect right there. We all know television has an effect on it. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter what they're showing on TV. You just need to focus on something else. Why do you want us to focus on something else? You got bigger things to focus on. Okay, well, we can focus on this also because this destabilizes our agenda. I don't think it has that much of an effect on it. Okay. That is all the more reason for us to focus on it. Caller from area code 337. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Jam out of Karen Crow, Louisiana.
All right, Jam, what's on your mind?
Man, first of all, I wanted to thank you for shutting that damn shit down that this little girl was talking, because, to be honest with you, she was a shill straight up. This girl was trying to push some bullshit down our throat. Well, I was tired of it.
Well, here's the thing.
Listen to it, be honest with you.
Here's the thing. I want you all to understand something. For you and me, for folk who've already been there and know that, that's one thing. She's 26. What about the 20-year-olds she talks to? The parents haven't taught them anything. They haven't indoctrinated. Her arguments will be persuasive to them. Television doesn't control what you do. Television doesn't influence you. Well, to a kid who doesn't know how to debate this or refute it, well, I guess television. Have you ever watched TV and it made you do something? Well, make me do something. He's thinking, well, a hand never reached out and grabbed me around the neck and said, hey, nigga, you better. Okay, well, I guess television doesn't make you do things. Then somebody with some sense. Television doesn't make you, it influences you. Oh, influence. And then she'll say, well, it doesn't really influence you. Okay, then what about political ads? Why does Coca-Cola spend so much money on ads? Why is it the Super Bowl charges $3 million for an ad? If what you see on TV doesn't influence you, why are these people doing that? Oh, well, I mean, maybe it influences you some, but we don't know how much. We don't have to add up how much. All I have to prove is that it does. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you about how much, because we can't measure it or we can't specifically measure it minutely or quantify it, but we know for a fact it does. So to a 20-year-old, once they hear me say that, the agenda people panic at that point. Damn it, you just gave them the intellectual firepower to shut us down. By definition, these people have to lie in order to indoctrinate and recruit a new generation. They have to lie to them.
Can I say one thing before you send me away? Bruh, Erica Lachey, Black loves a revolution. They do not want more black babies born. Period.
Very true statement.
Black loves a revolution.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me get caller from area code 510. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Mr. Jason Black. This is Black Voltron calling out of East Oakland, California.
Black Voltron out of Oakland. What's on your mind, brother?
What's on my mind is this question you just asked, especially after that last Disney LGBT agent that just called. Is the LGBT targeting children for indoctrination? Yes, I have personal experience with this. Unfortunately, I'll be real with you, Mr. Black. We late to the party. Again, as black people, specifically in my personal case, as a black father who raised my black daughter, I went to a school. Well, I'll take it back. My daughter went to a school that was headed by a lesbian principal and a lot of lesbian, LGBT, few gay teachers there. This was Lincoln Elementary School in San Leandro, California, just outside of Oakland on Estudio Avenue. And she was there in 2006, 2007 in the second grade. One day she decided to bring a book that she was supposed to read
by herself or with me that was called The Two Kings. We talk in 2006, 2007. My daughter's 21 now. I got so livid when I saw this book because I knew right then and there that was part of the indoctrination. Coming to get my child. So I shut that shit down, and we immediately had a conversation, me and her. I told her, pretty girl, this is wrong. This is wrong. Daddy, why is it wrong? Because two men cannot produce a child. Two women cannot produce a child. A man and a woman produces children. Just like you have a mommy and you have a daddy. You know who your mommy is. You know who your daddy is. Yes, Daddy.
California was real good about that.
Have a society.
When you started having that Heather has two mommies thing from back in the day, that was when they first started testing the waters on that. So now it's Heather has two mommies. There's two daddies. There's two kings. There's two barbershops. They understand what they're doing. And California really paved the way and continues to blaze the trail of targeting the children. So to everybody out there as a child, you must be vigilant. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, brother. We're coming up short here on time. I'm about to get hit with the buzzer thing here. So everybody here, please keep your comments brief. I'm going to try to get to as many of you as I can. Let me get caller from area code 404. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Jason? It's Leroy from Atlanta.
Leroy from Atlanta. What's on your mind?
You're hitting it out the park. You're hitting it out the park tonight, man. When that girl called saying that it wasn't an agenda, when you just ran this story where LaToya Ravenel said she got the not also secret gay agenda. They admit to it. And really, I thought she was about to talk herself into being straight, because at one point she said, well, I don't even know. I don't even agree with a whole lot of this stuff. Man, look.
No, let's be clear, brother.
You need to talk
90 seconds.
One of the things that folk need to understand here, things folk need to understand, a lot of this, especially where the girls are concerned, let's just keep it real. They did not have a strong masculine male presence in the home. There was either a weak one or none at all. And that is one of the quickest ways to get your daughters to question themselves.
But you gotta let them know off the rip, the same way I let mine know. Black vote
60 seconds.
Don't wait for the streets to tell your child what it is. You tell them what it is. Don't hesitate.
Now, I'm a person, like I say, I'm a person who doesn't have children, and even I know I don't trust the schools. I don't anything. The first line of defense is you. Particularly if you are a father, you are the first line of defense, and in some cases, you might be the only damn line of defense. You cannot take this lightly. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get a call from area code 215. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, Jason Black? This is Muck calling from Delaware County, Pennsylvania. And I just want to touch on something real fast. If you can remember back in the day, back in the 80s, the show Different Strokes, they had an important episode that happened.
10 seconds.
I believe the man Conrad Bain, who played the father on there, gave a quick monologue before the episode started. And it was the episode when Arnold and Dudley went to the store, where the guy was the proprietor of the store, and he was trying to touch on him. At that point, when that came out, people weren't outraged enough. And now you see that type of activity is being accepted more today. And
well, they started it decades ago. That's why they wanted to get you as children, because Different Strokes really appealed to a lot of children. I should know I was one of them. And definitely that was the kind of thing they used to teach you back then. Today, they've morphed it over, so now they're making it more comfortable. This idea, because back then there was the thing, you didn't really, unless they were like little old folk, but you didn't, this idea that the children are supposed to be sitting around with a bunch of grown-ass men like that, like your peers or something. Now you're starting to see that kind of thing there. So understand, that's the subtle indoctrination. I'm not just looking at just these same-sex thing, but this idea that the children need to be around grown men as if you're all peers. This idea of grown men talking to children as if they are peers with these children, that is indoctrination. Right. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get a call from area code 916. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, good evening, Mr. Black. This is Olivia calling from Sacramento, California.
Olivia from Sacramento, what's on your mind?
Yeah, so I really agree with this broadcast, and I just wanted to hammer home. I myself do not have kids, but I do work with kids, and it's very important that, just like the caller, the woman before said, they don't have to use terms like gay or even LGBT to quote unquote indoctrinate your children. You've touched on it before. A lot of the concepts they choose is the concept of found families. So even before Disney blatantly put things like that on the air, like the new Proud Family, they always taught the concept of being different and being accepting of different. So if you can lump that in with anything, like having different hair, having different clothes, different body types, then you can say anything is different and fine.
Yeah, I mean, that
Also,
was the wedge. The wedge they drew in as well. You know, some people are different. Well, you're absolutely correct. Some people are. Some people are gay. You're absolutely correct. And 50% of the characters need to be gay. Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Right.
We're beyond different now.
Right.
Somebody's got an agenda. Because different is reality.
Right. And
we can all agree objective reality is that, yeah, people have differences. Well, yeah, that's an objective reality. When you start telling me that 50% of the people are different, oh, that's not reality anymore. That's an agenda. I'll let you have the last word.
Right. And to tie it all together, if you've already connected those ideas, then of course, then you push the concept of a found family where, well, at any age, you can make your own family. Your family can be your friends. Your family can be your colleague. And you have little shows like this little girl I worked with really liked this Tots show on Disney Junior. And one of the songs was said, like, all you need to make a family is love. So if you tie those concepts, then all you need to do is sing a happy song, and in the background, you can have two male-coded zebras adopting a child. And, oh, look, it's a family.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
parents
anthropomorphics when they take animals and start giving them human characteristics. Yeah, I mean, this is psychological warfare on a multi-dimensional level. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 415. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason Black. This is Don P. from San Francisco.
Don from San Francisco. What's on your mind?
Man, that caller from Brooklyn, she doesn't even realize how she just exemplified your point. Now, I'm old enough, and I agree with BVR because I'm out here too. They started this agenda in the public schools in the 90s after the Reagans and Republicans decimated the black homes through their damn planting of drugs. So they removed. See, these people play chess, like you said, on a multi-dimensional level. They have to destroy the black home, and then they have to destroy the black future. And how do you do that? You do that by getting us to go against the Creator's first mandate, which is that we be fruitful and multiply. I'm sorry. Adam and Steve can't do that. And I'm going to tell you something else, man. It's fierce on the West Coast and the East Coast. That's where this crap started, like you said before in California. Man, with the Clinton administration, they started that indoctrination and started grooming them. And I started working early. So when I was 14 years old, I was working in a professional type space. And I was going into offices and stuff like that. And I was dressed apart. You know, I was in my suits and whatnot. But they seen this little young, and this is what I really hate about our people. They seen this young little high booty little man, and they trying to hit on him, these pedos. So there ain't no agenda. There's a complete agenda.
No, they understand what the hell they're doing. I want you all to think about this a little bit differently, though. Because here's my point. As a person on the outside looking in who doesn't have children or whatever, and I know what the hell I'm seeing here, you're not talking to these kids about being gay. I'm like, no, that doesn't compute. I understand hustle when I see it. What Master P say, game, recognize game. That's not the reason you're here. You're not here to talk to these children about something in the far-flung future. That's not really your reason. I mean, you would like that. That's the wedge you're using. Oh, I just want to take care of their sexual future. Wait a minute. What interest does a grown man have in the sexual future of a child? So either you're here because you're concerned about what he will be, or you're here for what he is now. And that's the real thing. I'm like, when we get down to it and uncover and get past the bull crap, I don't think you want to open up these you're opening up a line of dialogue. And what you're hoping is there's one in there. They're not trying to peel off a whole classroom. We're just looking for the one that we can get. Milo Yiannopoulos, anybody? Go look up that story. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight, Don. I got a bunch of folks sitting here on the line. I'm going to need to wrap things up here in a few moments here, so I'm going to take one or two more phone calls. Let me get caller from area code 626. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is L out of L.A.
L out of L.A., what's on your mind?
Yeah, I want to destroy any argument against you real quick, smooth like though. Let me kill them. Television programming is called programming for a specific reason. You watch television for a little bit less than 10 minutes, your brain goes from the alpha wave state to the beta wave state. The beta wave state accepts damn near any information shot to it by the television itself. Another thing, it's a law in the UK. Every house is supposed to have a television. Something's not wrong there, right? And on top of that, 1974 was the change in the DSM. That's when one of the doctors of the community got in and changed some things around and had a little cry session. Now it's changed. But I'm done. B1.
Black First Brother, thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 478. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good afternoon, Johnny. I'm sorry. This is Johnny calling from Macon, Georgia.
Okay, Johnny, your phone's kind of janky there. So if you're on speaker or something, you want to take it off. Your volume's going in and out.
No, I'm not on. Hold on. No, I'm not on speaker.
Okay, well, make it quick because your phone's going in and out on you. What's on your mind?
Oh, okay. Yes, I'm part of that community, and yes, and I'm of a certain age, so I definitely want to say that it's definitely an indoctrination. Full
that made it worse.
Can you hear me?
Okay, brother, your phone is going in and out like a fishbowl on here. When you hear it on the playback, you'll figure out what's going on with it there. But thank you for giving us a call. I'm going to try one more line here. Let me get caller from area code 601. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good evening. This is Cheryl from Pearl, Mississippi.
Cheryl from Pearl, Mississippi. What's on your mind?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to say that thank you so much for this content. It's much needed, but I can honestly say Black people have played around for the last 5 decades, and it's sickening to me. This was going on back when I started having my children back in the 90s. This was this indoctrination in the home front. A lot of parents had pornography videos. You remember VCR tapes? Well, when they go home, a lot of the children were watching these tapes, right? And so children were going to school in the 2nd grade. My mother was a school teacher in our hometown, and she would come home and tell me, which made me homeschool my children and take them out. She would tell me how the children were writing vulgar messages to one another in the schoolhouse. And I decided at that point, I knew I couldn't raise children who were being exposed to that. Because I love my children, I homeschooled them myself. I was put down by a lot of Black people because I was doing this back in the 90s. Okay? It was very unacceptable. They wanted to know, well, how are you going to socialize your children? I say, I'll tell you one thing, what children are saying and doing in the schools now, I do not want my children socialized around other children to that point. I take my children to the park and I do activities with them. A lot of parents do not love and really care about and are interested in molding and shaping their children. That's the problem we have. And we're not serious.
I think you're correct about that. if you're a responsible parent and you're sending your children into the public schools, then you're putting them around a bunch of irresponsible people. So your responsible children are mixing with the children of the irresponsible. So between that and the schools and the TV programming, yeah, it becomes an uphill battle. So if you have the wherewithal to be able to homeschool your children, I think that's an admirable thing to do. I'll let you have the last word.
What I did, sir, I took a back seat. I took a personal back seat. I bought those children forth. And I'm going to encourage your listening audience, take a back seat to what you want. You want too much, but you went and got these kids too fast. Raise your children right. Be one.
Black First Sister, thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. If we had more black women like that, folks, I'm just one person. I'm just one microphone. I am just one guy. I really am. I don't have superpowers about this, but hopefully I can help ignite a discussion. And I know this is not usually the kind of thing you're used to me talking about here. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to be really up on, a lot of the tricks of the trade they have in these schools because I don't have children necessarily that I can question about it, but I see enough of it. Even as a person who's not, isn't a biological parent like that, I see what's going on. For those of you who are, you can't be this damn lax, man. For those of you who are parents, you can't be this damn lax. You're supposed to be running laps around me with what you know. You can't be this damn negligent. Your children are sitting up here playing with little gay video game characters and everything else like that. And the issue is when it reaches the point of indoctrination. What Elle was saying was correct about when you're watching something long enough and your mental state changes, you have to change to be receptive to something. That's how you learn, is by becoming receptive. And it's one thing if we're plugging in good knowledge. It's another thing if we're plugging in something to alter and change what you are. And then next thing you know, you become like Brianna from Brooklyn, and your agenda is telling everybody, you need to look somewhere else. Don't worry about that. Well, this thing is getting in the way of our agenda. No, it ain't. Ain't no problems right there. But we need to move this obstacle out the way so we can focus on what we're supposed to be doing here. Ain't no obstacle there. You need to get back. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Ain't no problem. I want you to ask you all one more question. Did she sound like a young lady who doesn't have or didn't have any active influences in her life conditioning her? Did that sound like somebody who didn't have active influences in her life conditioning her? Think about that for a few moments. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. If you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the Haven of Intelligent Black Thought. We do this every weekend, over 137,000 subscribers and rising. We are not a little thing. I know some of y'all are looking for last week's program. I got a feeling that's going to be showing up here on YouTube any day now, so just be looking for that. Still waiting to see if the Boule bird touches down in Louisiana. We're going to see what happens. Make sure you click that red subscribe button. Make sure you click that yellow notification bell. Join us every time that we are on here. And if you haven't been to our website, blackchannelfilms.com, you want to go there and check out our groundbreaking best-selling documentary work, 7 a.m., Gentrified, Race War, all available on DVD, on streaming, and on Amazon at blackchannelfilms.com. That is blackchannelfilms.com. I want to thank you all for joining us here tonight. I want to thank Miss Cordelia, Shelmar, Chadwick, Marley K, and everybody else who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal or Cash App. Thank you all for your support. I really appreciate just knowing that you're there. And thank you all for tuning into the program here. I'll see you here tomorrow night. Until then, this concludes tonight's broadcast of the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future, and the future is our agenda.